First of all, I want to thank y'all both because this is a huge component of what I was missing in the brand of me. So clearly, Zoe is being branded, but I'm not branding Zoe. This is the first time ever I've had people behind the scenes push me to do this stuff. So I appreciate all of you guys' help for that. And you're branding me because I do feel like I am a sort of an important voice at this moment.
Absolutely.
Don't downplay it.
Yeah.
Just I mean, at this moment, like
I got
I want to retire as an OG.
Okay.
Okay, I
I
want
think
people
that
to,
I think
huh?
that will happen. Time is
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
right
don't
for
want
what you're
to.
saying.
Yeah, I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to think like you should have did this. No, like I want y'all to follow my path. But if it's something that doesn't make any sense, let me know as well, because I'm still learning this. I'm learning the best way that I can,
Mm-hmm.
especially now without me not being able to pay for my mental health awareness. Okay, mental health awareness is just as important as getting your nails and feet done,
It
and
is. It's
that's what
probably
I'm missing.
more. It's probably more so.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. So today, hello, how you doing? We are discussing what's the difference between Larry Hoover RICO and Illinois elected officials RICO, because it's RICO time, and I it's so much hypocrisy in politics. It's insane, and the fact that we are living in some type of reality show that we're not getting any type of residuals from is insane. So I just want to just talk about what is just about this whole situation with Larry Hoover. Larry Hoover should be free. I felt like when President Donald Trump, commuted his RICO for a 1997 RICO case, which was six consecutive life sentences. I felt like as a governor that is about bipartisan or about equality or stand on their values as a Democrat, they just as a diehard Democrat and not a Republican, that he should have met President Trump halfway and pardoned Larry Hoover that day or the next morning. I felt like that should have been the unity of the first thing that happened in the first 200 days of Trump being in office. And we're still waiting for he hasn't even spoke about it. He hasn't even spoke about him being in state custody now, state of Illinois custody, him being Governor Pritzker. He hasn't said anything at all. So also Mayor Brandon Johnson, who is so pro black and so pro and right now talking about how he has the blackest administration and he is about black life and black power and black this. He hasn't said nothing black about Larry Hoover being commuted, but he has all the things to say about President Trump being a racist. So it's just like they both of them, Pritzker and Mayor Brandon Johnson, Governor Pritzker and Mayor Brandon Johnson, have been silent about this Larry Hoover situation, especially but I don't know because allegedly Brandon Johnson is a vice lord, so maybe Lord, I don't know. That's what they say, and I just know the real red lawyers. I don't think they for that shit, but allegedly that's what is being told. But I want to break into what is a RICO and then what are some of the most famous RICOs or notable RICOs that probably the audience knows. First of all, do you have anything to say, Nicole? Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me. That's all. I'm proud to be part of flipping this mug, trying to flip Chicago red and
And thank you for
Illinois.
helping me put this slide together. It's for if it wasn't for my CFR family behind the scenes. Shout out to Ramona, shout out to Nicole. They helped put this slide together for me because I'll be spitting, but then I don't have now I got the little data stuff, the little fancy index cards to show my stuff.
We up.
We up.
We're here. We're here to keep you organized. We're here to get your thoughts out in a contextual way, so everybody can see what you want to get out there.
Exactly. Because I honestly I've got all of these ideas and Ramona will find like two or three in there and put them together and be like, okay, let's just work on this right here. So, and I get it. At first I'll be like, damn, she doesn't believe in anything that I'm doing. And I'm like, well, yes, she is. She's just trying to get me organized. So
That's
thank
it.
you.
Just we want to keep you focused because
yeah, it's like, yeah, I mean, you are an OG in my life. You are a teacher in my life. You're older than you've been here. You've seen the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
I know that Larry Hoover was pretty much a political prisoner. What he did should not have landed him the sentences. They were afraid of him. He was charismatic. He was going to influence the Black American community in ways they didn't like. He was going to turn the gang into a voter registration political machine. They were terrified. That's why they locked him up for 6 consecutive life sentences. One wasn't enough.
Yeah, they had to send a hard message. Don't do that no more.
So yeah, the voter registration, because he did. Now I was told that he did organize one.
He did, and he was going to grow and continue, and they didn't like that. That's part of what he was operating from behind bars. They hated it.
Yeah. See. So yeah, that's from a whole nother angle that they don't even teach us about the politic part, about the voter part. They make it seem like this was this drug lord. He was he was Jeffrey Dahmer of the niggers.
Right. That's how they make it sound. If you listen to WGN the other night, how they reported it, it's like, oh, they're wedging Pritzker between a rock and a hard place because the Black Chicagoans and Black Americans are waiting for him to say something at least, but they're trying to make it like Trump bad, so Trump did it, so you can't do that. And that's why he's being silent. He doesn't know what the hell to do.
Right. And they're still framing it, he pulled the trigger and all this other stuff. And it's like, Chuck Gowdy, I think, did that piece where it was like, it was a whole hit piece. He's the kingpin. And they're never going to give you the full scope of why they made him a political prisoner. Now, you even saw a lot of us in the comments going, well, I don't understand why people are calling him a political prisoner, because nobody's telling that narrative, because it's intentional.
Right.
No, nobody under 40 even knows it. You have to dig for history these days, and people are lazy. They want a 5-minute TikTok. They don't want to dig into history at all.
Yeah, and it don't help when the news is lying.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's like whoever's the highest bidder. Like we living in they've learned how to use prostitution and hoeing and everything, from our media to our politics, to our businesses, to our schools, to our jobs, getting jobs. Like you can be unqualified like hell. But if that CEO or that supervisor is attracted to you in some type of way and you automatically got that job.
I think Brandon Johnson and Kamala Harris are 2 perfect examples of automatically getting jobs they're not qualified for.
I thought you was going to say he was giving it up. Brandon giving it up to somebody.
That might stop him from getting a job.
I think he's going to be the first mayor in his no one. He don't need no security after he gets out. There's no one gonna even pay him no mind. Like, nigga, you is a certified clown. You lost Chicago. Like, you had Chicago as the second black man from Harold Washington to get Chicago in this modern day and time, and you fumble Chicago.
He gonna have to take his talents to Haiti.
Right, him and Kwame Raoul. With barbecue.
Barbecue wouldn't have him.
Right. Barbecue was so mad, like, who's this nigga? RICO stands for Racketeer, Influence, and Corrupt Organizations Act, a federal law passed in 1970. It's crazy when they're passing these laws. 1970. The year before that was Pride. Stone Ridge. They started Pride Month in 1969.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it was designed to combat organized crime, especially the mafia, but has since been used in a wide range of cases. What RICO does, it allows prosecutors for civil plaintiffs to charge a group of people or organizations who commit a pattern of crimes, at least two predicate acts, work together in an enterprise, formal and informal, the government, with intent to profit from or further the organization's illegal activities. You can file civil RICO or criminal RICO. In civil RICO, you can sue for triple damages and attorney fees. You understand that? Triple damages. I need y'all to understand. Triple damages. Examples of crimes under RICO: bribery, fraud, mail, wire, bank, drug trafficking, extortion, money laundering, murder, obstruction of justice, human trafficking, government corruption, and right underneath it, it should say City of Chicago, Cook County, and State of Illinois. The famous RICO cases: United States versus the Mafia, Gambino. Everybody know about Gambino? Remember Gambino? Okay. Genovese, Lucchese families. Okay. 1980s commission trial. Took down major in New York City mafia bosses using RICO for the first time. Who was the prosecutor? Rudy Giuliani. That's why people don't respect Rudy Giuliani. Okay, result: life sentences for the top bosses. Now, they were not Black American either, so you can't say racist. Can't call that racist. Young Thug and YSL RICO case. This was the most ghettoest RICO case that I think everybody witnessed. It was so ghetto. Do you remember that case, Nicole?
It was funny.
I think the most ridiculous part was them trying to use his lyrics, right? It's like, good luck. All the artists can just claim as artistic privilege. Like, I'm an artist. I made this up.
Right. Like, I can't have imagination.
Right.
I loved his attorney, though. He was so serious. Like, it's truly humble under God. That's what Thug stands for. And he's saying it with a totally serious thing. And I was like, really?
Hey, that's what he got paid to do.
Yeah.
Right, because he know a RICO when he see a RICO. And this is by far nowhere near what these motherfuckers be doing with our tax dollar. These RICOs are privately paid for. Okay, these RICOs really don't have shit to do with us. Nothing really, like, to be honest. And when they're trying to be legit, and they come to the government, and they got enough money to be legit, that's when they get popped every time. Every time they try to take the government needs to be, they're one big RICO. So, rapper Young Thug and others charged in a state level RICO case in Georgia. YSL was alleged that YSL Young Stoner Life is a criminal gang involved in drugs, shootings, and carjacking. Okay. They were using, like you say, of course, he took a crazy plea deal, and then one of the most controversial things was them using rap lyrics as evidence, like you were saying. 6ix9ine and Trey Bloods. Tekashi 6ix9ine was indicted under RICO for his role in a gang tie for shootings and drug sales. He snitched with the prosecutors and leading to multiple convictions. So he didn't do that long. He's outside, and he's still alive, just like George Zimmerman is still alive. We're at the era now. It's just you corny. Like, we don't want to deal with you. Like, you corny. You did some corny shit. You have no street rat. Like, nigga, we get it how you live, nigga. You'll never be supported in the hood. You'll never have that. So we don't have to kill you. You're an embarrassment now. You rapped all that shit. You rapped about all that shit, and then you snitched. No. Trump, Georgia election interference case. Fulton County DA Fannie Willis charged Donald Trump and 18 co-defendants with a state-level RICO, accused of running a criminal enterprise to overturn the 2020 election results in Georgia. Now, this is how I knew that the Democrat Party was some shit. Because like I told you, I was living in Georgia at this time. But I didn't realize how sick it was until I started my fight in Chicago. But this right here is how you know that the Democratic Party, they're not for us. They turn that shit into their own type of gang, and they've got the black, you got the liberal women that are being the face of this victimization of men, especially any man that stands up to what's right, or if they question or challenge them, that they're these rapists, they're these they're these bums, they're these misogynistic, they're
toxic masculine, so yeah, it's sick. And they tried to do it. They fought hard to try to do it with Donald Trump, with every type of. It was crazy too. They tried to get him with every type of nationality or race of a woman. Black woman when it comes to prosecutors, DA Fannie Willis, and then Letitia, whatever, in New York. See what I'm saying? Tried to go after his character with Vice President Kamala Harris trying to go after him. That didn't work. But it was all trying to be these women to try to tear him up. But it was so many women, like his daughters and other women, that knew that he wasn't that type of person. No matter what you're trying to say, like he's this womanizer, and he's this drug addict, and he's this entertainer that doesn't care about nobody and stuff like that. Like, nah, he like good looking women, just like anybody else like good looking women, and he has a preference. And if they're dumb, he usually gets rid of them, just like anybody else gonna get rid of them. He's never gonna crash out for a bitch, and that's what they don't like about Donald Trump. So shout out to Donald Trump because of that. Then you got BMF, Black Mafia Family, that was major drug trafficking and money laundering organizations from 1990s to 2000s. The leaders was Big Meat, she's recently out. Terry Southwest T were taken down with federal charges. 50 Cent as a shows on Stevie Stars TV for BMF, but Big Meat just came home, and as you see. Big Meat is not a threat to anybody. I don't even think Big Meat knows how to give us a full sentence, or even what happened. Like he chilling. He is. They should have him on a motivational speaker tour, but no, they got him doing TikTok dances. You know what I'm saying? Like, this man ran a whole business without. Regardless of what y'all say, he could take that same business mindset
and make it positive. But y'all have him on TikTok. The Enron case, that was a corporal RICO, but it was a threat. While not formally charged with RICO, Enron, they say it's white people now, not formally charged with that, not Enron. Enron executives were threatened with it during federal fraud investigations. But they basically had RICO and they threatened it, but clearly they paid it off. So white people, you can pay it off. Niggas or gangs, Latin kings, vice lords, no, you're going to get these RICOs. Chicago gangs, Latin kings, vice lords, GDs, multiple federal RICO cases in Chicago targeting gangs involved gun trafficking, drugs, and murder for hire. Other use of RICO to dismantle the leadership. It's powerful because it connects individual crimes to a larger criminal enterprise, allows for sweeping indictments, asset seizures, and longer sentences. Civil RICO lets people sue corrupt officials, real estate developers, or corporations for damages when they act as a part of a corrupt network. All right, so let's start. Any questions? You want to add on to that?
Now we good to go. Yeah, you handled that.
All right. What's the difference between Larry Hoover RICO and Illinois' elected officials RICO? Immunity.
Right. So we're going to talk about, Larry Hoover, the ghost of Chicago's past, like John Burge, Mayor Daley Jr., Rahm Emanuel and his Laquan McDonald controversy with the Silent Seven. Also his New Americans plan, the scam that they call the Sanctuary City, Mayor Brandon Johnson, our Attorney General Kwame Raoul, and of course, big Governor J.B. Pritzker, who thinks he's gonna run for president, but it's cool. We're gonna get into how he's destroying Illinois. So I don't know how you're gonna do it on a 50 state level, you know what I mean? But
Governor Fatass
different
will
from
never
be,
Governor Fatass will never be president.
Like never.
Never.
Yeah, we want to compare how Rod Blagojevich and Mike Madigan got caught up, but he did not.
Right.
Because they was all touching.
Exactly.
So if you want to go ahead and
all right. So
or
Larry,
Ramona.
Oh yeah, Ramona, you wanna do the first?
No, I'm on my phone, so I can't read it that well.
Oh, you can't see. Okay.
Yeah, I can see it, but I can't read it well enough.
Oh, I got you.
All right, you got that, Nicole? We do
okay, yeah, it's cool. So Larry Hoover's RICO case, a 1997 federal conviction. The Enterprise was the Gangster Disciples, better known as GD here in Chicago. Criminal organization with 6,000 plus members. The predicate acts were drug trafficking of cocaine and heroin, extortion, street tax from drug dealers, money laundering via front businesses, continuing criminal enterprises, leadership role from prison, which was where they really got ticked off and added, years to him, right? Mm-hmm. Evidence was recorded prison conversations directing gang activities, testimony from former gang members, financial records linking Hoover to drug proceeds, and then the outcome was 6 life sentences commuted by Trump in 2025, but he is still incarcerated on state charges, which JB, given that he's, so big on freeing criminals through the Safety Act, would be
right.
A little more compassionate.
Well, when it's big business, and when it's big business and it's the communist way, because at this point, they both ain't shit. You got communist Democrats, communist Republicans that don't care about don't have no respect for the American tax dollar and the American citizens. They're only out for themselves.
Right.
Because they think they'll be in the ruling class if it ever becomes communist. Very few of them are truly the ideologues they pretend to be. They just think that they'll be on top, and they don't know history again because there's very few people end up on top.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, you getting rid of competition on all scales. It's not going to work out for you either. Like,
At all.
yeah.
Potential RICO case against Chicago, Cook County, Illinois politicians enterprise. Alleged political criminal network involving elected officials, lobbyists, and city agencies. Ghosts of Chicago's past. John Burge and Mayor Daley Jr. All right. Predicate X. John Burge, torture, racketeering via obstruction of justice and conspiracy. Daley Jr. hired truck program bribes, 800,000 in kickbacks. Nepotism, son Patrick Daley's hidden city contracts, and then Daley Senior for Daley Jr. because word on the street is that Daley paid Jesse Jackson $2 million to make sure that Daley Jr. became mayor. And that sounds about Jesse Jackson. So, the cover up of Bird's torture scandal. Also, we need to put in, I'm putting in now, how he sold the streets to Dubai. Because I know that contract.
Oh, the parking meters. Yeah.
Yeah, I know that shit is fraud.
Oh yeah, he wouldn't have done that if he didn't get a big fat ass kickback for it.
Right. It say evidence, reparations, ordinance, payouts to Bird's victims, reparations, federal convictions linked to hired truck program, Chicago Sun-Times investigation into Daley family contracts, Rahm Emanuel and Laquan McDonald cover up, predicate X, conspiracy to withhold police body cam footage, obstruction of justice, retaliation against whistleblowers, 13-month delay in releasing McDonald's shooting video, Emanuel's IG letter denying cover-up, contested by activists.
Just a
We got the sanctuary city policies, predicate X, harboring illegal entrance. That's obstruction of federal immigration, enforcement, lawsuit versus Trump raids, alleged ties to drug cartels via unchecked fentanyl trafficking because fentanyl's all over the place. Evidence 2025 ICE raids targeting Chicago shelters, Emanuel's New American scam, but New America's plan, prioritizing non-citizens over citizens, and that was in 2012. He started that. Mayor Brandon Johnson, predicate X, ethic violations, refusing lobbyist donation bans, alleged quid pro quo with unions activists, evidence Chicago Tribune reports on stalled ethics reforms. Yes, our Attorney General Kwame Raoul. Where is Kwame? And Governor J.B. Pritzker, predicate X, Pritzker sanctuary state policies and enabling drug trafficking. Raoul failure to prosecute political corruption. Yes, you cannot find Kwame Raoul at all because he also is committing political corruption. Contrast with Rod B and Madigan. How you say that last name? Blagojevich?
Blagojevich.
See, that's why we need a white person. That's why you need a white person on your side at all times for this.
Well, I'll tell you something. I filed 3 writ of mandamus to Kwame Raoul's office, and I have never received a proper response for any of them. I received an automated response one time. I received another automated response or an assistance response saying that it was going to be forwarded and I would hear from him within 30 days. Never did. This man doesn't exist to do any work for the people.
No, at all. Now I know for sure my mother has started writing Kwame Raoul after he took Madigan, Lisa Madigan's position. Nothing. Then I used to do it for her when she would tell me certain things. I'd be like, all right, I'll write it, but I didn't know that I was never in the step that I am now. Then when I got into this, got involved, I swear to God, I think I was writing that man every week. I probably sent him about 600 messages, emails, and still have not. Me and Miss Jessica even went up to his office and still couldn't get no help.
Yep.
So, yeah,
Yep. A friend of mine who's an attorney went to hand deliver some writ of mandamus that we had in 2021 having to do with the election, and they would not allow them in the building. They were like, it's a security issue. It's COVID. And it's like, take these papers. Oh, no, you have to hand them in person. Then let us in. No, we can't let you in because it's COVID and it's a security issue. That's how they handled it. So he's probably just AI.
Yeah. This is. He is I think he's AI as a attorney general. He's the first AI attorney general.
Yeah, he doesn't exist.
So that's the problem. Well, we have Madigan charged with ComEd. Oh no. Blagojevich convicted for selling Obama's Senate seat. Madigan charged with ComEd bribery scheme. He's already pled guilty, and he is expected to get sentenced to 12 and a half years. Now, he still has his pension. They didn't snatch his money away, which is crazy because he's looking at like $4 million or something like that, which there's no way in the world that. Who did you snitch on? Did you snitch on Daley? The only way that I'll let you keep your pension if you snitch on Daley Jr. Because you already
he had a snitch on someone, or else he wouldn't have that pension. Something has got to be coming down.
It got to be either Biden or Daley Jr. I'll take either one of them.
What about Obama?
That's what I was thinking. I'm thinking it might be Obama.
Or Obama, yeah, because he is a nigger out of all this. So yeah, Obama. But I'm just saying something, and I'll be okay with. I'll even forget that he still got the $4 million. But you got to give us something good. You got to give us.
I think they did. I think he had to have, because I don't think he would have kept that otherwise. I don't think there's any way they'd let him keep it unless they gave him something.
Yeah, because they snatched Ed Burks.
Yep. And then all of a sudden they gave it back. So there's got to be a reason.
Right. So Pritzker, Raoul, no direct charges yet, but systematic enablement of corruption. What we got? So the key RICO elements are patterns of racketeering, decades of corruption from Burge to Johnson to Daley, Senior to Johnson, enterprise, implicit alliance between politicians, police, lobbyists, activists, preachers, these nonprofits, these restaurants. I'm starting to learn some of the same restaurants that get the same neighborhood opportunity grant, same ones. A lot of them on the west side, they won't even let you do anything political that goes against. One of them was Soleil. Soleil, I fuck with their food. It's all right, decent. I wanted to do an event there, but I couldn't do the event because she ain't with the city. Ain't that the person knows business, which okay, you got it. But at the end of the day, the city fucking everybody else up. So you only care about as long as your shit good. So if the new administration comes in, say my new administration come in, you think you safe? It's just on some real shit. You think I'm gonna be courteous? I'm not gonna shit on you because at the end of the day, if you got everything right, we need your money to help sustain the government. because your peoples who you in the in crowd with don't know how to sustain budgets and got our shit all over the fucking place, but because you know somebody who knows somebody, or you slept with somebody who slept with somebody, you get the opportunity to get the grants first before anybody else. But when somebody like myself or anybody else would like to use your place because it's a dope place, it's a black-owned place, I can't do that because I'm in with the city. Okay, bitch. Good luck. Next.
What goes around comes around.
And then I think you didn't do conspiracy, coordinated efforts to obstruct justice, suppress dissent, and profit from policies. I mean, you was talking about it, but
Right.
yeah, that's the same thing. They don't think that's what that is, though.
These people going to prison. Larry Hoover. Hashtag pardon Larry. You know what? I was out yesterday talking to some Gen Z babies, and they brought up how Larry Hoover. Now, they really don't know much about Larry Hoover. You can see it's on TikTok, and their parents talking about it and stuff like that. But one of the things that one of the kids was talking about was, damn, he was in solitary confinement for 30 years. He got locked up at 22. He's going to be weird when he gets out. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't even, and not saying it on a weird shit, like not saying it on a disrespectful shit. That's what their mind is thinking about. Like, this person hasn't even been out. Like, literally have been locked up since they were 22 years old. Then in your 50s, you put him in solitary confinement. Like, how you expect me to have a conversation with him? Like, y'all literally are making this man to be what can he possibly do right now?
And that's just against cruel, that's cruel and unusual
That's
punishment.
cruel. You guys will go you guys will fight nail and tooth for the Humane Society. You guys will I mean, y'all were going crazy when Peter was going crazy when people was wearing fur coats. When it comes to the horses, the horseback riding in Chicago, they didn't want carriages on the horses. Why you got these people? Basically slavery. You got these horses that are got human beings and they're walking them on downtown and stuff like that. So it was a couple of people that were going down there, organizations going down there fighting against that. And they hurried up and took care of that, which they should have. But when it comes to human beings, and especially us, freedmen community, that is powerful or can can influence and make a big difference, it's like it's a threat, and they punish them even more.
When I read that
yes.
30 years, I don't know how his attorneys or anyone let that happen. I was reading that and I was like, how the hell did that even go on? How was that allowed?
And like I said, he's intelligent. He was in there reading a lot of books. Also, someone said that he wrote a book.
He did.
So my thing is, I used to say when I was before I went on Breakfast Club and any of those things, I remember saying, because I've been locked up before, I've been in solitary confinement, and I said I don't care. I said I don't care if I'm shadow banned on social media, because I'm still shadow banned, not as much as I was, but I was super shadow banned. So literally, be one person, one like, 2 likes. When I try to post something, they would stop it if it had certain words in there. So I knew I was shadow banned. And I said, I was like, I don't care if I'm shadow banned. I was already in solitary. I've been in solitary confinement before. I don't mind talking to myself. So, if people have that type of mindset, he might have that type of mindset. Y'all not going to break me. Y'all not going to break me for speaking my truth. And you're not going to scare me either for speaking my truth. And that is why this man is not pardoned yet. So, Larry Hoover threat versus political prisoner narratives. You want to do that?
Sure. He was convicted. So the narrative of threat to society is he was convicted in 73 for ordering the murder of William Pookie Young, later convicted in 1997 on federal charges, including conspiracy, extortion, and running a criminal enterprise from prison, versus the political prisoner narrative that his original 73 conviction has been served. Federal charges viewed by supporters as criminalizing his political influence, like we were talking about before, the voters registration drives he was doing, and efforts to promote peace within gang networks. And a lot of people will argue that, him being locked up like that didn't allow for control over the gangs. Therefore, you got all these factions and, fighting against each other, doing all types of, stuff that you wouldn't do if you had a central leader. Andrew Howard, the individual who physically carried out the murder of William Pookie Young, was convicted alongside Hoover and has since been released on parole, versus Hoover remaining incarcerated despite his co-defendant's release, raising questions about sentencing disparities. Originally, he was sentenced to 150 to 200 years on a state sentence and 6 life sentences federal. Federal sentence was commuted by President Trump just in May, and he's still serving the state sentence. He was transferred from federal supermax prison to Illinois Department of Corrections custody to serve his remaining state sentence. And advocates argue continuing incarceration is excessive given his age, health, and alleged rehabilitation.
And how about the guy who really pulled the trigger and did the physical killing is already out after 30 years?
Yeah. It's right here. Yep. Andrew Howard. Yep. And they don't want to talk about that. Every news outlet doesn't mention it.
William Pookie Young?
He's still alive, and he was released after 30 years.
As he came out and spoke?
Not that I know of.
Not that I know of. I don't think you would. And they probably paying him to be quiet. Somebody probably giving him.
Pookie need to come out. Real nigga need to come out. Like, that's the problem.
Pookie died. It's the other guy.
He's the dead guy.
Pookie died. It's Andrew Howard, who was the.
Andrew Howard. Yeah.
Pookie's the victim. I don't think he's coming out.
All right, well, Pookie's the victim. Well, he's okay. You're right. So Andrew Howard. Yeah. So where Howard at? Andrew Howard. So
he should speak up. He should speak up. Yeah, he should speak up.
Yeah. So and I'm not saying Andrew Howard, please, you should. At this point, it's unity. At this point, you should be around the same age, if not older, or if not a little bit younger. You guys, this is the best time. You were elder at this point. And from one elder to another elder, back, come on, man. Come out. All right.
Authorities. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you want to?
No.
Okay. Authorities assert he continues to pose a threat due to his past leadership of the Gangster Disciples. But supporters claim he has renounced gang affiliations and promotes community healing. There's limited public statements from Hoover. Authorities suggest that this is a lack of remorse. Family and supporters highlight his advocacy for peace and education. Treated as uniquely dangerous, other convicted individuals have been released or, receive clemency or parole. Points to clemency given to others like Oscar Lopez, Rivera, and Susan Rosenberg. Authorities believe he could still influence gang activities if released, but advocates argue his influence could be redirected towards positive community initiatives. Must petition the Illinois Prisoner Review Board. Governor Pritzker has the authority to grant clemency. Supporters urge Governor Pritzker to consider clemency, citing rehabilitation and disproportionate sentencing. And again, I just want to reemphasize, he let all them people out during COVID and all the safety acts. So the same rationale, not a threat.
And that's the one thing that the advocates say, that he's going to redirect his efforts to community, and peace, and that's what they're afraid of. They're not afraid of the gang. They want the gang division. They don't want the unity.
That's why they got rid of the vocational programs in the school. It's like, we were just talking. Me as always just saying, like you don't have no activities for these boys, especially to do that could get them. I'm not about to ruin my life and get shot if I could make $55 an hour straight out of high school.
Sure, sure. The whole thing is that they thrive on this division. They want the division, and anybody who can unify anybody, they want to get rid of him. That's why they were terrified of King, because he wasn't perfect. There was a lot of things I looked into King's history I didn't like about him, but he had one thing. He was charismatic, and he was bringing the white union workers into the movement, and they were terrified. Oh my God, black and white people on the same side against us. Oh, what are we going to do? We're going to kill him.
Yeah, that's been going on since the American Revolution.
Right. They don't want they make more. They feel like they make more money off the division, but they're really not. Because even with the billionaires, right? A billionaire that is a selfish billionaire, and doesn't want to get back to the community and doesn't want to make sure that society is financially well off, and you don't want to create businesses and jobs and all that type of stuff. You're hurting the economy even more. If you would not be as selfish with your billions to create other corporations, other jobs that creating jobs.
They don't care. They don't care if we have jobs. They don't want. Yeah, they don't want a middle class. They just want a serfdom and them. That's what they want.
Yeah,
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Right. What distinguishes the John Birch police torture scandals during Daley Jr.'s tenure as mayor, resulting in billions of dollars in costs of wrongfully convicted individuals, from the situation where we draw the line with Hoover's release? Look at fucking Birch.
I didn't know if you wanted to get more into John Birch. I did link the
yeah. I mean, no, tell.
I mean, you know, because I don't know if people know. Like, I kind of.
No, I need you to, because when I was going down to when I started going down, I started hearing about John Birch cases during a finance meeting. I remember Alderman Gilbert Villegas getting up saying that, look, we're about to pay out $1 billion in wrongfully convicted cases. Like, what are we going to do about this? Like, when are we going to start asking? And he did say, like, asking these police for their own insurance. And it's the truth. Leon Rogers, when I had shout out to Leon Rogers, I had did a podcast with him, audio podcast. He said the same thing. I have a couple of friends who are actually sergeants, are actually in the police field. They also say the same thing. They agree with that. Like, because you're giving police a bad rap when everybody ain't on what this piece of shit was on.
Right.
And our tax dollars shouldn't go to that. But also, we let Daley Jr. in there for too long.
And there were a ton of people who were covering for Burge. The problem is that none of these people go to jail. You wouldn't have these payouts if someone like Burge and everyone who covered for him went to jail for the rest of their lives, or 20 or 30 years. Then they lost their pension and everything else. You wouldn't have these payouts because they wouldn't want to risk it. But now they just figure they can still get away with it. Oh, get a slap on the wrist, or get this or that. No, they need to do jail time, real jail time when this shit happens. Not a couple years. And anyone who covers for them, that can be proven to cover. That's the only way to really stop it.
Yeah, because now the taxpayers paying for it. We getting beat and then paying.
And even if you start getting the police to carry insurance, there'll be some insurance company that takes dues, pays out millions, and they still won't learn their lesson. It's like doctors in medical malpractice. They can kill 2, 3, 4, 5 people carelessly, and the malpractice insurance covers for them, and they still go blissfully on unless they get arrested and go to jail, like a couple of doctors have. But it's not going to fix it until they do jail time.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
No, that's facts.
So briefly, just some of the history. You can go to the linked the link is to Chicago Torture Justice Memorials. And so it just documents a lot of the Chicago torture cases, but specifically the Burge case, being one of the biggest ones. So the evidence of the case was after giving a false confession under torture, Aaron Patterson scratched messages into paint in the interrogation room that were evidence of confessions obtained through use of torture. Andrew Wilson was photographed after he was tortured, and they do have some photographs.
You gotta.
Oh, you want to see it? Okay, hold
Yeah.
on. Okay, well, hold on. I don't even want to get complicated here. I'm about to switch screens, so.
Oh no, I thought it was on this one.
No. I'm only sharing that one particular screen.
Okay, no,
I mean, I could do it real quick.
I was gonna say, no, I thought you was going on. I feel like I'm doing my project. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm doing my book
here.
project.
Let me
book report.
I got you. Hold on. So torture justice. I don't know if you have to let me do it. I have it up, but
send me the information about Victor Bout. Okay, we're talking about J.B. Pritzker, the double standards of what's going on right now in the state of Illinois, in the city of Chicago. We are trying to flip this state red. I don't ever want it to be blue ever again. Okay, I want it to be a story. Okay, I want it to be a movie. Okay, so
Victor Bout turned into a movie.
Victor
Lord
Bout,
of War, Lord of War with Nicolas Cage was all about Victor Bout.
Is Victor Bout from here?
No, Victor Bout is the guy they traded for. What's that black basketball star who was locked up?
Brittany Griner.
Yeah, he's the one they traded for Brittany Grimes. He was a arms dealer, a huge arms dealer. And he had
the rush. Yeah. I did see that.
And Lord of War was the movie about him.
Yeah, because I remember I think I did respond when I first saw it, and I said, "Well, yeah." I said, like, give him back to Russia. Like, what the fuck? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I never understood what we were doing. Like, even with the Brittany Bryant, because I've been locked up in Nassau, Bahamas, and I had to follow everything they did. Now, if they told me that I was going to get 30 years for having a joint, I mean, my mother would have got me out that motherfucker, but I would have accepted that because that's where, I'm not in America. I'm there.
Right.
Right. Yeah. So when I saw that situation with Brittany Griner, I was like, well, shit, I had to pay $5,000 to get the fuck out of Nassau. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, they're like, free. So you gotta put your free Brittany Griner post. Why did she bring all them fucking weed? Did she know she had them shits? Because I didn't know I had my shit. I forgot I had that shit.
She apparently knew because she didn't deny that she knew. And so she would have done
it. That's the difference. Yeah, but what I didn't like is that she comes from money. Her wife has money. She has money. Also, she has deals, like corporation deals, sponsor deals. So if she had to get it in advance, it would happen. They would give it to her. So
that was a political showpiece. That's all it was.
Did not make any sense to me.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm sharing the screen. I don't know, but I think you have to do something.
Yeah. All right.
There you go. So I can't see the pictures though. I clicked it. It's just like a PDF from the medical examination. But
okay.
Yeah.
But the Chicago torture
justice memorials. Yeah. So you can go here for any information on different torture cases in Chicago. But I'm just reading here from like the documents and the evidence they have. But the overview that the facts of the Chicago police torture cases are summarized by People's Law. And Burge and White's detectives working under his command tortured over 110 African-American men and women at the Chicago police headquarters from 1972 to 1991. The court's ruling on the sentence in 2011, John Burge was convicted of 2 counts of obstruction of justice and 1 count of perjury. Judge Joan Humphrey Lefkoe made a lengthy statement at Burge's sentencing hearing, which is transcribed there. Let's see what else. I know there was just more about the victims. Yeah, so the document identifies 111 victims of torture in Area 2 and Area 3. These people were tortured between 1971 and 1991. Some of the people that Burge and his collaborators abused have been very active in raising awareness, while others remain nameless but not forgotten. And then there's more information there. You can see like testimonies and all types of stuff here. And there's a timeline. But I know like they were saying that he learned a lot of the torture techniques from was it in Vietnam War, Ramona?
Yeah, I think it was. I don't think it was the Korean War. I think it was Vietnam War. I'm not sure. It was one of the two, but I think it was the Vietnam War.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you can imagine the stuff he was doing, trying to get confessions out of people.
Sure.
And then of course, you write it off because, they're just black gang members, they're gang members and they don't deserve to be treated well. But like you're
like what they're doing with Larry Hoover.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. You should drop the link to this in the description so people can look it up and read it.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. All right. So what's
I'm working hard here. Hold on. Okay.
Oh no! I appreciate, man. You don't understand.
I got you. All right. If you want to go ahead with that one.
All right. Let's see what we got. All right.
Can you see it? Or I could do it. She said, not really. Okay. Burge targeted and brutalized primarily young black men, labeling them gang members or criminals to justify torture and forced confessions. And then compare that to Hoover, who was prosecuted not only for his past, but for allegedly organizing from prison, interpreted by some as suppressing a powerful black figure with political influence. Burge, dozens of convictions were built on coerced confessions extracted through torture, flagrantly violating constitutional rights. In Hoover's case, Hoover extended solitary confinement, use of wiretaps, and sweeping RICO charges suggest extraordinary prosecutorial overreach. Burge, despite decades of abuse, Burge only served only 4.5 years, not for torture, but for lying about it. I'm sorry, my camera's in the way. Many of his victims remain incarcerated or unpardoned. Hoover received 6 life sentences, while his co-defendant, the actual shooter, who we're talking about, has been paroled, and others with more violent records. Right. Yep. Others with more violent records have received clemency. Burge, the city and police department concealed the torture scandal for years and maintaining a false image of justice and order, while in Hoover's case, the refusal to acknowledge Hoover's evolution or potential for rehabilitation maintains a narrative that all gang-affiliated figures are irredeemable.
Well, and here's the other thing that you just read there that I've been thinking about for a little bit. What the hell started them to do the wiretaps from prison and everything that they did? There must have been something that they really, really were worried about, because how many thousands of gangbangers are in prison? How many thousands of them have some reach outside of their jails? And they chose him to get this extensive wiretapping done that, they had to set up for a while to get him on the RICO charges. I mean, they were obviously afraid of his political influence, because otherwise they wouldn't have gone to those lengths.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like you said, he was charismatic and, intelligent enough, to be organizing the way he was.
You can spot it. It was Obama had it. As much as I don't like him now, I voted for him. I spotted it the minute he did that speech on the steps in Springfield. I told my husband right then, I go, "That's your next president." And he laughed at me, and I go, "Don't laugh." I go, "He has got the it factor." And and Malcolm X had it, and that's why they killed him too. When you have got that charismatic pull that you can pull people together, they've learned to spot it, and they're terrified of it.
Brandon Johnson think he got that same charisma.
He ain't got shit.
He ain't got nothing. I don't even know why you wearing that bulletproof vest. No one cares. You are.
Oh my God, that Klingon ain't got shit.
We're waiting for the Fed to come pick you up. Everybody can come get. We know exactly where he at. We know exactly where he at. Where he gonna be today, tomorrow. You want me to break it to him? Yeah, nobody's scared of you. You are the man. Ain't nobody gonna kill you. I promise. I promise. Ain't nobody gonna kill you.
Yeah, we
want you
are
in
not
jail.
worried about. I don't think anybody's worried about Brandon Johnson.
No. When I look at this city reparations for John Bird, somebody is actually in here.
Somebody said his haircut is charismatic.
It said my uncle Bird's victim. My uncle is Bird. My uncle is a Bird's victim. He served 18 years before he was exonerated and awarded $5 million. See, if I'm serving 18 years, I'm gonna need like $100 million. Cause you don't know, cause like you gotta understand, you messing with my psyche. You mess with my psyche at a young age, you got me going into a place where I'm still a teen. I'm going into an adult, but I'm a teen. My brain is not all the way developed as a mature adult. And I'm still doing goofy stuff because I'm still a teenager type thing. But then I got my family that, it is what it is, depending on what type of family I'm coming from. But 18, I didn't do nothing. 18 years, I had to be in there. I don't know what I've seen, what I've had to deal with, and I'm ashamed to tell anybody. And you think you're gonna give me $5 million? Oh no. It starts at $100 million plus attorney fees. $100 million plus attorney fees. That's when you got to go get an adult IEP, because I need to know my individual education plan right now. Because you got to understand, these people was locked up for 18 years. They don't know how the human. No. I hate that. But it says on April 14th, 2015, the mayor of Chicago, Rahm Emanuel, announced the creation of a $5.5 million city fund for individuals who could prove that they were victimized by Burge. $5.5 million city fund. Call it city reparations. And if you could prove that you were victimized by Burge.
Right. How many of them migrants got that 600 million, didn't have to prove nothing, or them vendors that got the money actually?
It's like if you were a victim of John Burge, please call City of Chicago at 1-800-666 for you can be eligible to receive a payment up to $100,000. Because if anybody had common sense and is willing to wait it out, it's looking like the longer that you have being there, it's looking like 100 million, 200 million, 300 million. Now I'm looking at $1 billion within myself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I understand the city is talking about $1 billion, but within myself, I'm gonna need like $100. I'm gonna need $100 million for damages, and then I'm gonna need $900 million for punitive.
Right. Yeah, we be lowballing.
We do. So yeah. All right.
This big enough you can read this one.
Yes. What that word say? Convergence?
Convergence, meaning how they cross into each other.
All right. What's another word if I don't want to say convergence?
Converge means like come together. Like when you draw a Venn diagram and your circles do like this, that's convergence.
All right. Let me find another word I'm comfortable with.
Oh, come on.
Because I'm just saying, just in case I ever see this word again.
But that's what I'm telling you. The synonym is like when they touch. So it's just having something in common.
All right.
Commonalities.
The meeting point of Hoover and Burge conspiracy.
There you go. Similarities.
Similarities, yeah.
That's, yeah.
Yep, intrigation. That word right there gives me PTSD from the civil rights. Both cases reflect how Black men seen as leaders when they say Black men seen as leaders.
Yeah, so just how
were strategically silenced or neutralized under the guise of law and order. Both demonstrate law enforcement using excessive or extrajudicial tactics to secure convictions or maintain control. These double standards show how the system protects its own while punishing perceived threats more harshly. In both cases, reputational self-preservation of the institutions was prioritized over justice and truth. Okay.
That's right. She F's with that convergence.
Yeah, convergence.
You want me to read this one?
Yes.
For decades, survivors, family members, lawyers, and community organizers fought to have Burge and his accompanying officers convicted for torture. Milestones in the fight for justice for the torture survivors included 4 of 10 Burge torture survivors on death row had their sentences overturned. Community organizers testified at the United Nations Committee Against Torture, and they recommended that the U.S. government bring Burge accompanying perpetrators to justice. So it went international, right? Burge was convicted of perjury and obstruction of justice in 2010 and served 4 years in federal prison. In May of 2015, Chicago City Council passed a reparations ordinance for the Burge police torture survivors and their family members.
For the 5.5 million.
Yeah, you can see that in that little graphic there. Yep. A public memorial, all that. Yep. Educate free college for the survivors and their families.
Okay.
That's how you do that.
Yeah. Now that is okay. That's why right now every child who wasn't able to attend their prom and their graduation because of COVID shall also receive free education.
Yeah, on Fauci. And in the Wuhan labs.
In the Wuhan lab. Wuhan, China.
Oh, God.
Who let the GDs in the door? Rahm Emanuel.
Now she throwing up the forks. I'm not gangbanging with you on this live.
This nigga right here is the gangbanger of the gangbanger. It don't get no ganger if that's gangier,
right?
Than Rahm Emanuel,
right?
Yeah, the racist Jew. Now this is a racist piece of shit. Jew or not Jew, this nigga's a racist piece of shit.
So
Rahm Emanuel, Lacan McDonald, and the Silent Seven do tell.
So let me see if I can go full screen on this. So this was published August 2016, New York Times. So Chicago Police Superintendent has called for the firing of 7 officers for their response to a colleague's fatal shooting of Laquan McDonald in 2014, the case that roiled the city and laid bare long-standing tensions between the police and Black Chicagoans. Then Superintendent Eddie Johnson's decision, announced Thursday by a police department spokesman, comes nearly 2 years after Officer Jason Van Dyke fired 16 shots at Mr. McDonald and a 17-year-old African-American.
Freeman.
Yes. The dashboard camera video of the shooting that was released under public pressure in November incited widespread protests and exposed an entrenched code of silence among officers who had sworn to a far different account of the shooting from what the video captured. The case has led to increased scrutiny and skepticism of the department, including a Justice Department investigation, which actually at this point already happened and is now a consent decree that, the city is supposed to be adhering to, that into the police practices and the firing of the previous police superintendent. As protests intensified, Mayor Rahm Emanuel remained under pressure to provide more transparency and overhaul the police disciplinary system. The call to fire the officers broadened the department fallout as the force struggled to restore public trust. The 7 officers recommended for firing were accused of making false reports. They had backed up Officer Van Dyke's account that McDonald had moved menacingly toward him with a knife, but their story was contradicted by the video. of the shooting. While Mr. McDonald had a knife, he seemed to be veering away from the police when Officer Van Dyke shot him, and the gunfire continued after the teenager collapsed to the ground. So blicking niggas all in their coffin, as Kendrick Lamar stated, right? Like you already down. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's wrong with you, bro? You a little.
That's why with the Derek Chauvin thing, like, oh, Trump is gonna pardon him. No. Now that will make me think he's a racist. And he's not gonna pardon him. Regardless of, y'all can say that George Floyd died of a drug overdose. He probably did. Who knows? I never got into deep. You know what I saw? I saw that knee in that nigga neck. And as a police officer and a person who is supposed to be law enforcement and enforcing the law, it doesn't say you have to put a knee in someone's neck, especially when a person is not violently doing anything, not fighting you or anything like that. He's not doing anything like that. You literally looking at that girl's phone when she's recording, like, I don't care. So that is pure evil. Evil as hell. And regardless of it, he didn't die. It doesn't matter. He is law enforcement. He should never put his knee in that man's neck. So that's what we all see. That's something that we'll forever see. We'll forever see that, like we see this. That's why they covered this up.
Yep. Where were we? Yeah. So Officer Van Dyke, the only officer who fired his gun that night, has been charged with murder and is awaiting trial. He has pleaded not guilty and said he feared for his life. To the department's critics, the significance of the video of Mr. McDonald's shooting was not just showing how wanton and unnecessary his killing had been, but in starkly demonstrating how blatantly and casually police officers had lied about the circumstances of another officer shooting a man. Such code of silence cover-ups for misconduct, critics say, had rarely been made so plain as the discrepancy between officers' accounts of the killing and what the video later showed. Not much different than how city council covers for their bad voting.
Exactly. Or, if you want to compare a Chicago shooting, Dexter Reed, they shot all them shots, and that's because them niggas didn't know how to shoot. However, Dexter Reed shot at them first. And anybody that I know, if I was a police officer, I'm shooting too. I'm shooting. You threaten my life. And regardless, I don't know you. I don't have anything. All I know is that I pulled you. I don't care. They shouldn't have pulled him over, but they did. I've been pulled over plenty of times. I've been discriminated against plenty of times. I've never decided to take a gun out and start shooting people. No, I'm waiting to get your supervisor's name,
right?
Get your information, and sue y'all motherfuckers. But people with Dexter Reed's situation is Dexter Reed was already out on a gun charge. Now you out here with another gun,
right?
Yeah, like, people don't want to give all the facts. So, but because of the Laquan McDonald and them hiding it, and then the Burge torch, those Burge torture cases, then you're dealing with the Sean Bell in New York, you're dealing with the Trayvon Martin, the Khalid Browder, all that. It's just George Floyd. It's just all this one after another racial tension stuff, and sometimes it's not even racial tension. Sometimes motherfuckers be in the wrong. It just happened to be an officer that's not black,
right? Or the inverse, but they don't want to talk about that either. But I ain't even.
Yeah, or like the Memphis situation, the Memphis police case. They all got off,
right?
I ain't see nobody tear up Memphis,
right? Yeah, it's
black on black crime.
Tricky out here. I know, right? So just all of this is generally the lawyers and everybody talking about how wrong it was to cover it up and, review of the facts of the case. But essentially, 16 shots in the cover up was when, down here at the bottom.
There's some aldermen too. Is it in there?
So I did do a slide on that. About you talking about the alderman who got paid off.
Yeah, that's in there.
I did a slide on there. I don't think it's in there.
Thank you. You know what? You a real one. You a real one.
Yeah, hold on, let me see. But yeah, City Council approved a $5 million settlement for Mr. McDonald's family, but his death is just one of several noteworthy police shootings in recent years. Since 2004, Chicago has spent more than $500 million to settle cases of alleged police misconduct, and those payments, which have come as Chicago has struggled to fund its school system and meet its pension obligations, have frustrated residents. During protests last year, Officer Van Dyke was charged. Demonstrators repeatedly chanted 16 shots and a cover-up as they urged Mr. Emanuel to resign. And yeah, so the Department of Justice investigated and include an examination of how police treat minorities and punish misconduct in its ranks, which did, so this is before this actually happened, but ultimately resulted in that consent decree where I don't even think we're anywhere. I think that last time I heard about it, we're like less than 20% compliant with everything that's in that consent decree. So Snelling kind of has to take that on, and then on top of how, they've made policing almost impossible, and then you got a mayor who doesn't really respect what the police do, so it's making it extra hard to even do the basics. Oh, let's not leave Kim Fox and the Safety Act and all that out of it too.
Yeah, I want to say, somebody has said Lightfoot was better than Rahm and Johnson. Lightfoot was just as terrible as all three of them. Okay, Ron wasn't the best, but he was better than Lightfoot and Johnson. He actually was worse than all of them. He is dangerous. This nigga is the one who started the Operations New Americans plan that what we're dealing with. Please, there's not nothing that all of these politicians they were all detrimental to Chicago, and Chicago, they all had their different political agenda, and it was not for Chicago. It was for their only personal agendas, with the help of some sorry ass aldermen that helped them as well, because they were only looking out for self as well. So they're all trash.
Yeah, and then the fact that Brandon is now able to say that the numbers are down, even outside of the COVID, influx, which was obvious with the carjackings and everything else that was going on, but they're comparing the ROM numbers and then the gradual decline since then. Rahm didn't give a shit. I just talked to like a white guy that did ride along with the police about this. Like, Rahm didn't give a crap about crime in the city. Like you said, he's the worst. Like, there's no getting around it. So that the fact that he was so bad is why Brandon can now say crime is down.
Right.
So here you go. This is what you want.
Right.
Paid to be silent.
Well, we know all of these people. Michelle Harris, we know for sure if Michelle Harris ain't going to do shit else, Michelle Harris is going to sell out her community. 8th Ward, she is a trick. She is a hoe to the 8th Ward. Okay, she is a hoe to the Chicago government. She will fuck the whole 8th Ward just so she can get money. She's a millionaire. Michelle Harris is a fucking government elected official prostitute, and she is a millionaire. She doesn't give a fuck about you, herself, or the 8th Ward. Her and her weird ass sidekick. What's her name? Ryder?
Her unofficial right-hand man, Alvin Ryder.
Alvin Ryder reminds me of like a Tyler Perry. Like, that nigga's a character. Like, that nigga like belongs.
He's Madea. He's not Tyler. Play. He's Madea.
Yeah, he's like Madea or something. Like, he's like, that nigga is questionable. Questionable homosexual. Happy Pride. Alderman Michelle Harris, 8th Ward, total donations from Mayor Rahm Emanuel was $161,710. The largest recipient funds distributed across her campaign: 8th Ward Democratic Party and Illinois Democratic Party, 1st District Central. Yes, as a snitch boss for $161,000. As a yes, I will. Yes, I will. Walter Burnett, fucking the bank robber vice mayor, right now currently. But Walter Burnett, this is not a surprise. Walter Burnett is the male version of Michelle Harris. This nigga is also a hoe to the government. Okay, this nigga sold out the whole Cabrini Green. This nigga bent over for Peter Halston to give him everything. Here you go, boss. Here you go. You can take it all. Okay, so of course he sold. He sold his silence for $101,000 and $782. Of course, Walter Burnett Jr. would do that. Received $19,330 on April 3rd, 2015. An additional $61,252 as chairman of the 27th Ward Democratic Organization. Carrie Oxygen Austin, 34th Ward now. She's had to resign because she's also on the stand on getting arrested. Okay.
Well, she can't stand trial now because of her health, right?
Well, they're right now trying to figure it out. Now, do I think that she should stand trial? Nah. She's an embarrassment to her community. You understand? That's her punishment. She ain't got shit. She on her last leg. Bitch, she can't even barely breathe these days. She counting the days. Okay? So but
she could do a year.
She could do give me your pension. I need your pension, and I need you to come do I need her to come do what's that? What they gotta do? A community
service.
Community service. And break down the corruption.
I was gonna say, what you want to picking up trash in
no, giving us PowerPoints.
She got to help. What's his name? Ron Mosley
on the fuck shit down there.
Is she? That's Ron Mosley's ward now, right?
Huh?
That's Mosley's ward now, right?
Yeah, another piece of shit.
All right.
Yeah. 73. He thought he was gonna come in there with them small ass suits on and say because he was a Howard man. I'm in a Morehouse man. I'm a Morehouse man. They go fuck you. Because Morehouse would never have no man like you come out and fucking sell out fucking rolls them like you doing. They use a piece of shit just like the rest of these motherfuckers. A little young piece of shit. A little millennial piece of shit. She received $32,532 on April 2nd, 2015.
Hey, Zoe, sorry. Ramona's trying to get back in.
Oh. Sorry about that, Ramona.
No, it was I got bounced out. I was listening to you guys. I have a lot to add on the different police shootings, but that's probably for another time since you're past that. But what you said about Rahm Emanuel being the worst, he absolutely was. He hired that what was that guy from New York to be the police superintendent?
Oh yeah,
McCarthy.
Yeah.
McCarthy. And you know what McCarthy did? McCarthy sent the cops to do these overtime paid things where they didn't have to answer calls. They just drove around in circles around certain blocks. And what they did was they targeted where gangbangers sold the drugs on certain blocks. And by being there, they didn't scare the gangbangers, but they scared the customers, the white boys coming in from the suburbs and stuff. So they had to move over into other territory. And that caused gang wars, and that caused them to shoot each other. And he didn't care. That was their actual technique to try to get them to kill each other off and push each other further west out of the city. They did that on purpose. So when they were like, "Oh, we're so worried about the black kids shooting each other," nope, that was part of the plan. That wasn't a mistake. That was a feature.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And this whole thing, when they get these police against, like white police against black victims, this is all when they want to highlight it politically. Do you guys know who Walter Scott is?
No, please let me know.
No?
Enlighten me.
So you look up Walter Scott. Walter Scott is a black man who got shot straight in the back, running away from a traffic stop through a park, pretty much walking through a park, by a white cop. He had a black cop come in and kind of help him like set it up. It was all on video because some kid was filming it through a chain link fence. This guy He got arrested. He went to jail, but nobody heard about it on the news. I mean, it was so blatant. It was
It was in
insane.
Chicago?
No, it was in South Carolina, but
South
nobody ever
Carolina.
heard about it. When I
No.
saw that, I was like, I showed it to my husband. I don't know how I stumbled. I was doing some research on police shootings. And I go, can you look at this? He goes, how come we never heard about that shit? He's like, what is that? Like, there was no, like, with the Laquan McDonald thing. No, he wasn't coming at the cops, but he was headed toward a Burger King with a knife in his hand. Had they shot him once, done it right, it probably would have never been an issue. But the whole point is, this guy was innocent. It was a traffic stop. He got out, he parked his car in a parking lot and got out and started like kind of walking fast through the park. I guess he didn't have plates or something, or maybe he was afraid what they'd find in his car. This cop, he doesn't even run after him. He literally takes 3 steps at him, shoots him in the back like twice, then goes, calls another cop who's a black guy, and they try to like put some stuff around him. They don't even call an ambulance. They do nothing. I mean, it just like, I couldn't believe it. It was, and we never heard about that on the news. They never made anything out of that on the news. Why not? Was it not the right time? I mean, what was that about?
Too many. If the black cop was helping, then I guess they couldn't figure out how to spin that, right?
Yeah, right.
I-
That's
yeah,
it right
maybe.
there.
Yeah, it might have been, but he really didn't do enough to make it. Yeah, it might have been. It might have been it. It might have been it. And
You know, they
Yeah,
want to have
because
a
they
nice,
can-
clean,
Yeah,
emotional.
they don't have.
tool.
They can't try to say that. It wasn't racial.
Right. I see what you're saying. Yeah, that might have been enough. But sometime when you guys get a chance to, I got a video that they did on the whole Derek Chauvin thing, and when people start talking about different aspects of it, I'm like, you got to see this video. I think this entire thing from start to finish was set up. And I think his best friend is the one who made sure he had enough drugs in him to die. You got to see this undercover video in this documentary they did. I'm going to send it to you guys, but
Yeah.
it's terrifying. And that's why when people are like, oh, you should pardon him, I'm like, I don't care if he didn't choke him to death. I think he's in on this entire setup that cost 135 people their lives during the 2020 riots. So I don't like how any of it smells when it comes to that. 135 people died in those riots that they like to say are peaceful protests.
Yeah, the peaceful protest part, I'm not understanding that, because there's a person that's threatening to beat my ass every week, and she come in peace too. So
Yeah.
Hey, well, you know, our Illinois governor, he's a happy warrior, but he also called for not a moment of peace for any Republicans or conservatives. So there's that.
Right, and he says that January 6th people are dangerous, but non-illegal citizens can be the law enforcement. So
Yeah. He's a happy warrior. All I know is this: he's a very fat warrior.
yeah, a fat warrior.
Every time I can't help it. I feel bad in a way. Every time I see him, I just want to pop him and like watch him fly off like a balloon that's been popped. Every time I look at him, I'm like, how does this man think he can be president? He has no self-discipline, and people recognize that. Even if it's like subconscious, they recognize it.
Mm-hmm.
He's just
The fact that he even thinks that money is going to get him that seat after we just watched Kamala Harris go $20 million in the hole.
Yeah, I don't know. And you know,
they haven't even talked about it.
Half of his family can't even stand him. He got the lesser amount of the inheritance. One of my friends went to school with some of the Pritzkers. She had a real rich stepdad who sent her to one of these fancy private schools.
This is white tea, y'all.
And they like 2/3 of the Pritzkers can't stand the other third. Like there's 7 of them. He didn't get the majority inheritance like the rest of them did. He got a much lesser amount. And I don't know exactly why, but there was a huge feud there that you never hear about.
Yeah.
So he might not have quite as much money. That might have been why he was taking on his toilets, because he might not have quite as much money as he'd like people to think he does.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do a part 2 and get to the Pritzker stuff because it's so much.
The prison stuff. That's a whole because we got to get this nigga. Okay, yeah. Emma Mitz. Now Emma Mitz, I don't know why she keeps doing herself injustice, because
we don't know no better.
She really selling herself out for nothing. They get 30,000.
She probably mad looking at this right now, like, oh hell no, Michelle.
She fails me every time. Like you got that story about you picking cotton. And for anybody that ever experienced picking cotton as a slave, there's no way in the world a motherfucker even come at me at 30,000 I made in the government.
Look, she kept dropping them N words and still voted for old boy. So
She had a whole story about her family and her picking cotton and all this. I mean, like that story was like, woo, like okay, Mint, but I'm still gonna forgive you though.
That's Samuel Jackson. That's Django Samuel Jackson. Wow.
And the crazy thing is she had niggas standing behind her when she said that bullshit.
Wow, you killed my master.
Yeah, but I'm gonna do right. But you was wrong, but I'm gonna do right because what's one thing God gonna do? God gonna take care of this. And I know that the Lord is my Savior, and the Savior is my Lord. And I know you put your hands on me. Yes, I know you are taking full advantage. Yes, I know you done stole a whole bunch of illegal immigration money while my constituents is still swimming in the basements of the flood, the FEMA money that they have not given because I have sold them out for the FEMA money. But I'll go in there and tell my constituents some bullshit and they believe it because she's selling herself short. Oh, we have more.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even know. Oh, man. No. I see some niggas I don't want to see.
I know. I was like, oh,
I don't want to see.
I was like, Line 2 gonna hurt her feelings.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Well, he tried to act right, since then. You talking about Anthony or Pat?
I'm talking about both. Oh my God. All right. Howard Brookins Jr. 21st Ward. Now, did he get locked up?
I don't know. Did he?
Yeah, I think Howard Brookins Jr. Hold on. Let me look. Anybody know that over there?
She said over there. You got the phone, girl.
I'm looking.
All right. But yeah, Howard Brookins Jr., 21st Ward, 30K, got 10K before April
30K, they selling for nothing.
Well, nothing. 2015 settlement vote, and then got another 20K from Emmanuel in November 2018.
Woo! Let me tell you, Howard Brookins did not, but Howard Brookins chief of staff, was arrested. Curtis Thompson Jr. was involved in the bribery case. In 2014, Curtis Thompson Jr. was arrested after accepting a $7,500 cash bribe. Y'all really selling yourself short. This is why, like, when y'all trying to get me to sit and talk to Brandon Johnson for y'all little $5 million contracts and y'all $10 million contracts, this is equivalent. Your $5 million contracts and $10 million contracts is equivalent to these $7,500 cash bribes these niggas is taking. When I've seen them give these white contractors hundreds of millions. So he was from an undercover informant posing as a real estate developer seeking a liquor license in the 21st Ward. The exchange occurred during a holiday party at Brookins' office in December 2013. Thompson later pleaded guilty to bribery charges and was sentenced to 15 months in federal prison. That's crazy. You get 15 months. You get more months than how much cash you took. Let's see who else we got. Anthony Bill. God damn.
I know. That's how I felt. I'm like, kind of liked him, but he took money for this shit.
He probably didn't know that was exactly what the money was for.
I feel like Anthony Bill, I mean, he come on Famous Friday and explain, because
do his own Famous Friday. Ain't nobody else got that courtesy.
Yeah, do his own famous Friday and break it down. But they say, Anthony Bill, you took $33,915. You received $13,915 on April 7, 2015. Received another $20,000 from Emmanuel in November 2018. Now, Anthony, you my nigga. I asked you also to be on my podcast, my audio podcast, because I just want to get to know who you are.
I got his cell phone number. I can give it to you.
Yeah. Now, if this comes up and you want to speak about it, cool. But hey, come talk to a nigga. Come talk to a real nigga. Pat Dow, this is my cousin, man. This is my New York cousin. 3rd Ward, 13,000. God, now only 13? You 13. $13,530 received on April 6, 2015. How did she receive this? In a cash payment? Like how did they know she received it?
What is the only one you asking about if it was Zelle or a check? You see what I'm saying? You standing up for your cousin.
No, I want Pat Down to come talk to me too, because I fuck with Pat Down. But Pat Down, break it down to me. Like, why did y'all like what? Like, why Ron Manuel? Ron Manuel he really fucked the black community up. It's not like, you understand, like he really, like this nigga was terrible. Like he really was a racist. Like what was it with him? Willie Cochran. Now this nigga he just was selling out whatever. He had a gambling problem. Willie Cochran had a gambling problem. He was taking anything. He's been convicted. And the crazy thing is, the person who's convicted him, he's 24, 10,000. He received 10,000. Willie Cochran was sentenced.
You see, Chief Sunshine.
Yeah, because it's you know what, Chief Sunshine? Because real talk. Like, ain't no way in the world. Like, the first list of people look like the first two got like 100,000, right? Michelle Harris wasn't. At least one thing about Michelle Harris. If I'm gonna do it, it's gonna be the minimum 6 figures. So I ain't even going. Okay. Michelle Sellout Harris, because she's a millionaire. Walter Burnett Jr., a millionaire. The other ones, they got, she smokes cigarettes, so she probably be at the casino a lot, and we just don't catch. She probably spending her whole check on her whole check at the slots. So Willie Cochran. My judge that we currently have, shout out to Honorable Horace Alonzo. I really do believe that he's a good judge. He sentenced Willie Cochran, and he said that the Chicago corruption must end. That's what this judge said that we have. So it gives me hope, because he also took, he ex-police officer, but he also took from like the community. These niggas took for the community. But they have gambling problems. Willie Cochran was stayed at Horseshoe. He was at Horseshoe all the time. That was a Horseshoe nigga right there. He probably at Horseshoe right now.
Oh, you want me to go? I'm sorry.
No, it's not. Damn. Okay.
I found this to be interesting. I remember vaguely.
Okay. So talk to me.
Oh no, it's just Jim Crow Joe, Joe Biden still was considering Rahm for an appointment after the cover up, but it took AOC and other progressives to be like, hell no, are you crazy? So they were trying to appoint him. Let me see if I got the article here. And then you went down. There you go. Progressives rail against Joe Biden considering Rahm Emanuel for a cabinet position covering up a murder is disqualifying. They had to tell it. This was before he was losing his marbles, right? Before he, yeah.
I mean, look at him. Looking like
remember Obama had him for chief of staff. Remember that?
Yeah, and I heard that he was so bad that Michelle Obama kicked him out and made him come back.
Michelle and him did not get along. They fought.
Michelle always trying to
You
be
know,
honorable
do you,
after the
do you
fact.
remember Rahm Emanuel when his son got caught with whatever in front of his house, and he got beat up, and they said he had like some pot or something on him, and his phone got taken. You remember that whole situation?
Yeah, briefly, but yeah,
Yeah. Well, the true story was his son was dealing drugs in an open air drug market down at the beach. He got his phone taken, and they made a huge deal out of it because they wanted to get the phone back, because whoever had the phone could hack into the entire Emmanuel account because it was on the mother's account, and Ron was worried about his shit being exposed on his cell phone, and that is the true story of why it was such a big deal to get that damn phone back.
Sounds about corrupt.
Yep.
Hold on. I don't know how to use my stuff. There we go.
What says you can read that?
Go ahead. Can you see it?
Yeah, a Democratic New York representative, AOC Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, continued her criticism of President-elect George Biden's consideration of former Rahm Emanuel, former Chicago mayor and White House chief of staff under ex-President Barack Obama for a high-ranking federal government position. Biden had originally considered Rahm as possible Secretary of the Department of Transportation, but backtracked on, well, I said it was Sunday, whatever day this happened. After Ocasio-Cortez and at least two other Democratic politicians blasted Rahm for the role he played in a police cover-up of the shooting of a 17-year-old black teen, Laquan McDonald, in 2014, when Rahm was Chicago mayor. Biden is now considering Rahm for a less prominent role as a trade representative. Ocasio-Cortez called it shameful and concerning that Rahm was being considered for any position at all. When was this? Can you show me the date when this was, or can you find it?
November
2020, right? Okay. So this is when the progressive gang, Puerto Rican, Hispanic, the Puerto Rican gang, because she's Puerto Rican, and the Mexicans and but the Puerto Ricans, they snuck in to government in the name of and social influencers. She got in there. That's what the girl Kat is trying to do. The congressional influence, the girl who's trying to take over, Jane Swartzky, whatever. Her,
yeah.
So she's trying to. AOC had a lot of followers before she became elected.
Yeah, she was a TikTok star.
She was a TikTok star, right? So she got in there off of her influence.
And I think they recruited her too. They had to recruit her and give her some.
Oh yeah, they definitely recruited her, but it didn't help when you got people who look at her as, oh my God, she's a hero. She's about equal rights. Even though, you understand? No, but she's a gang member. However, she snuck in there, and a lot of them used the black death as a crutch. Everybody was using everything was sensitive. The Laquan McDonald, the George Floyd, the Breonna Taylor.
Sure.
They were
calling that black and brown narrative crap.
Yeah, using that black and brown narrative, but she didn't care about this man being in his position. It was just that he doesn't play on. He doesn't play in her game. Rahm Emanuel has his own fucking corrupt agenda. Like she got her own fucking corrupt agenda.
Right. Yeah, and they're opposed to each other. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So okay, sorry. That's all I wanted to say.
No, you're good. Did you want to finish this out or no?
This is it right here. What's so hard to understand about this? Ocasio-Cortez, yeah, right. Rahm helped cover up the murder of Laquan McDonald, covering up a murder and disqualifying for public leadership. This is not about the visibility of a post. It's a shameful and concerning that he is even being considered. It's also truly embarrassing indictment of what's considered politics in the U.S. That objecting to the appointment of an official who helped cover up the murder of a black child is deemed a progressive far left position. Under Emanuel's administration, Chicago city lawyers fought to hide police dashboard cameras, video McDonald shot 16 times in the back of an officer while McDonald posted no clear threat. You know what I want to know? I want to know who are them lawyers that covered it up. I want to know if one of them is Bradley Wilson. Bradley Wilson is the lawyer.
That would be interesting. Yeah, that would be interesting.
I want to know if we could figure out them lawyers that, like, if you could give me that or send this to me, and I'm gonna figure it out. But yeah,
you see this next line.
Read it for me.
Previous to Ocasio-Cortez's Monday tweet, Rosana Rodriguez Sanchez, Chicago alderwoman, created a change.org petition telling Chicago residents to, quote, make sure Joe Biden knows Rahm is on our do not hire list, end quote.
Oh, that figures. I'm sure. Yeah, that idiot.
The irony.
Rosana Rodriguez Sanchez. That's a 33. Not the 33rd alderman.
She was my alderman until they gerrymandered me out of her district because I was going to run against her. She is a piece of shit. She was in the picture with the guy who did the shooting in DC, and she's trying to what is she trying to sue Lopez for bringing that up or something?
Yeah, she's trying to say that's not him in that picture.
No, it is him, and she was in that. She was part of the 33rd Ward Working Families, and he went to several of their events.
See?
I just think it's ironic too with all of the Ronnie Reese should have been on a do not hire list, for sexual, yeah. I mean, and yeah, like Ramona said, any affiliation you guys clearly have with, this guy who was in this progressive group and the, socialist group that went off and shot these two Israeli embassy members. What are you talking about? Like, you are not the person to give moral lessons.
And any of these black kids that's out there protesting, which are the they are the recycle of the ones that were from the Black Lives Matter thing, George Floyd, all that stuff. So they don't know what the fuck they doing. They not out there really fighting for our justice. Them motherfuckers is out there making a career of keeping this racial oppression shit going.
Right. Yeah, you're right. You're right. They don't know. They don't understand it.
Nope.
Yep. So I don't know if you want to. Here's your Cheryl. Is this the answer to your question? Direct counsel for the NAACP Legal Defense and Educational Fund tweeted on Friday. Oh no, she's just randomly talking.
No. I need the City of Chicago Law Department lawyers that covered this
from that year. What year was that?
So Laquan McDonald was like 2015.
Yes, I want to know. Bradley Wilson was one of the people on it.
I should be able to find out. Tom's got all of his old FOP books, and in those they had the Chicago Law Department lawyers all listed. So I'll see if I can find it.
Thank you. Yeah, I just want to know. And even if it's not, I still want to research all them lawyers because the lawyers are the problem.
Yep.
We got to talk about Daniel Friday on these niggas.
Daniel Herbert, James McKay. You talking about who represented the detectives and Van Dyke?
Well, it would be the City of Chicago, Rahm and May, the ones who covered up. What did it say up at the bottom? Go back up.
Those might have been his private attorneys. It would be nice to know who was on the law department protecting the city.
That's what I'm reading here from this AI overview. It says the Laquan McDonald case, the lawyers representing the Chicago Police Department. But I mean, it could be, like you said, the private attorneys, not the Chicago law. What were you saying? Go down to what?
Hold on, let me see. It's on there, but we'll probably look it up. What's the next one? I'm gonna look it up because I just want to know who they are because what I'm realizing is that the City of Chicago has a lot of lawyers.
Oh yeah,
but they all certain ones like Bradley Wilson happens to be from New York, and he happens to be work for the Attorney General of New York State. And my thing is, you work for the New York State Attorney General, which is supposed to look at corruption and see corruption. How are you here now causing corruption?
It says corporate counsel was Stephen R. Patton, appointed by Rahm Emanuel in 2011.
Yeah. That probably was the corporate counsel. But
That's corporation counsel, but they have several lawyers in the law department.
they got like 1,000 lawyers.
Yeah, and the law department's a joke, because when a cop calls up to find out about something being like, is this okay to do? Is this not okay to do? Because my husband got in a couple arguments with his sergeant when his sergeant was ordering him to do shit that he said, no, I'm not going to court for this. This is unconstitutional. And they'd call the law department, and the law department would go, we have to research that. And what they figured out and they found out was they don't like to give an answer until it goes to court once. And then once it goes to court, then they jump down on whatever side the court says. They hate to stick their neck out and give anyone an answer, because then they are liable and it's on them.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. But yeah, what's next? Cause like I'm just saying that to say, because I'm dealing with that with my my case. Is the same lawyer. He's my lawyer on everything. They keep sending the same lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, where's Black Lives Matter when black people shoot each other? You gotta see how much it's looking like. Rahm Emanuel's New Americans plan. Yes, this right here is what y'all should have been concerned about. Not Project 2025, this right fucking here. The New Americans Plan. In 2012, then disgraced Mayor Rahm Emanuel launched the Chicago New Americans Plan, a 27-point initiative to make Chicago the most immigrant-friendly city in the world, framed around economic growth, youth development, and integration. Oh, the civil rights movement 2.0. The plan
except not for Americans.
Just not for Americans.
Mm-hmm.
The plan laid the groundwork for today's sanctuary city policy. Key components included, first of all, I would like to say Mark Carter was the first person who told me about the New Americans Plan. He gave me a little magazine, summer 2023, and he said, everybody worry about everything, but motherfuckers be, because I said, motherfuckers need to be worried about this. So he gave this to me, and he's absolutely right. So regardless of what people say, he's the one who told me about the New Americans Plan first. So thank you, Mark, for that, Mr. Carter. Key components included, and not Mark Carter is, that's the other one I just want to say, Mark Carter is Mark Carter. Mark Carter is nowhere near married to Danielle Carter. Because people think that they were together. So no, Danielle Carter Walters is a Walters. Her married name, and she's happily married to my man Chuck. City-funded support for undocumented youth included free tuition via the STAR Scholarship and mandated CPS counselor training. Now this is crazy. City-funded support for undocumented youth. Fuck the kids that's already there. Including free tuition via the STAR Scholarship and mandated CPS counselor training. Small business assistance for immigrants, ESL, GED expansion, and city-backed neutralization programs in libraries.
Naturalization.
Okay, neutralization. Oh, what's this?
You said neutralization. We wish.
I was going to say that would be much better.
Right.
So I can manifest it, but I thought that was an E, so my fault. Yeah, this like we gotta have this like extra big next time.
That's a Freudian slip. I love it. Neutralization is much better.
Creation. Well, I'm trying to tell you, I just learned how to be. Look, I try to tell you, I didn't know these words. I need stuff like Trump said, the big beautiful bill. I like that. It's straight to the point. Creation of the Office of New Americans and formal city partnerships with USCIS to host naturalization ceremonies at City Hall. I got a question. What is USCIS? You don't know?
United States, is it Customs and
Customs and
Immigration
Immigration
something, service something.
Services, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically immigration. Yep.
Okay.
And English is a second language they were requiring too. I mean, like the teachers aren't already in an overcrowded situation. Now they've got to teach English to people from all different like backgrounds.
Okay. By 2018, immigrants made up 36% of entrepreneurs and paid $6 billion in taxes. But they also accounted for a growing share of city service, subsidized programs, and housing demands.
As we see now.
Oh, flag burner.
Yeah, I had to throw that out there because you can't have new Americans without having this, obviously.
Yeah. Byron Sergio Lopez, my favorite dumbass alderman.
He was just standing next
This
to the
man
flag.
right here needs closed caption. He needs closed caption. He be up there. I don't be understanding shit my man be saying.
You remember that? You remember that Dave Chappelle skit where he was like, when you have he was in the barbershop and he was like trying to get the Latinos to dance to the music, and then he pulled out the bullhorn and just started saying gibberish. He was like, you need a piano and Spanish gibberish. That's him.
No, real talk. Like this nigga, he is. Oh my god, y'all got to come down to see this nigga in action. He honestly should get like if they have an Oscars for politics. Right here.
Yeah, he needs his own category.
He needs his own category. All of them. They are literally the Hispanic KKK. The New Americans Plan. Critics argue Emmanuel's policy shifted public resources originally intended for Chicago's most vulnerable citizens towards federal immigration resistance efforts. Many point to this era as the start of the city's unsustainable sanctuary spending, where taxpayers were redirected to shield undocumented immigrants, often at the expense of a native-born low-income resident. This legacy of prioritizing symbolic inclusion over fiscal responsibility now haunts the city as current leadership struggles to house and support thousands of new arrivals without federal reimbursement. They stole so much money. Oh, they stole so much money.
They did.
All right. Who's up next?
She's talking about who's up next. This all your stuff. There we go.
Systematic mechanisms use the mass political corruption.
I'll do half.
Okay.
Okay, you want me to start? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm actually in front of my computer. I can pull the slide up and help too after you do this.
Thank you.
I can pull up the next one, Nicole.
This when the group project go wrong. Systemic mechanisms used to mask political corruption.
I think I'm glad for the information. I think people appreciate the information.
No, for real. Democratic Party machine uses deep patronage networks where loyalty is rewarded with contracts, jobs, and protections. Dissenters are blacklisted or politically targeted. They use money laundering through the budget, billions in TIFs, tax increment financing, education funding, policing, and public health budgets rerouted, often allocated to the same revolving door contractors, favorite healthcare staffing, for instance, shell nonprofits, or ghost programs. Family court, disproportionate targeting of Black families, judges and attorneys financially incentivized through state reimbursements and placement deals.
Okay, NGOs and churches used to receive public grants and federal dollars with little oversight frequently act as fronts for the political alliances and patronage, jobs, property taxes weaponized against homeowners, especially black residents, to force sales and fuel gentrification. Meanwhile, connected developers and politicians receive massive tax breaks, and realty companies, shot spotter and surveillance contracts, inflated or misused tech spending under guise of public safety, billions spent with no measurable community safety improvements, but taken away with no viable alternatives. Sanctuary city status turns cities like Chicago into hubs for federal and international grant money, public resources diverted without public vote or accountability. Title
That's
and
what you were
sanctuary.
saying, that they're stealing the money, and that's how they do it, because they get the money from the Fed, and there is no accountability as to where it goes.
No, at all. That's where we
Yep.
need to come in at. The Doge.
Yep.
That's when Doge needs to come in at.
Yep.
Title and sanctuary laws use the funnel resources into immigrant service while disfranchising black residents, political posturing that enables federal funding and nonprofit expansion. Oh, this
I can
nigga-
read this. I can read this one.
Okay.
New American Sanctuary City scam. Mayor Brandon Johnson authorized use of $95 million in COVID-19 relief funds for migrant support, drawing criticism for diverting from pandemic recovery and social safety net. Backed controversial vendors despite public outcry. Those were his buddies too. Failed to disclose full spending breakdown. Only 9 of 27 migrant shelters' costs have been publicly released. Oversaw budgeting that prioritized $150 million migrant allocation, later cut after backlash and deficit projections.
I had to use this picture. You know, the walking Negro, the walking Negro spiritual that she is. I forget.
Yo, she did all that. It was like she
That's a
like,
great
I'm
picture.
like, okay, slam dunk, and she just airballed that shit. You hit
Right.
like, it was on its way. It was on its way, like, oh shit, swish. Nah, that shit went behind the fucking backboard. What the fuck?
And then she was mad about his appointment to what was that, chair or something?
Park. He's head of the Park District.
Oh
now.
yeah. She was mad about that because I guess she thought, you know, he wasn't gonna get it, or she was supposed to, whatever the case was, that she felt bamboozled.
No, but before that, she was supposed to get housing because she's over
zoning, right?
Right.
Wasn't she supposed to get zoning like that he ended up getting?
Right. I pulled it up. When
I think she was trying to get it was either housing or real estate, because this is what happened. He was supposed they were gonna let what's that dude named Flag Burner, Brian Sister Lopez, he was supposed to be going to zoning, and she was supposed to be going to housing. But Carlos Ramirez told his boyfriend Brandon Johnson that no, another Latino supposed to replace Brian Sister Lopez.
Yep.
But but Brandon Johnson was going to give it to Emma Mitz.
Right.
Got it.
And then she got the old switcheroo. It says here May 2024, and it says Mitz felt, quote, bamboozled.
Yeah, can you read that a little bit?
From the slide.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was gonna get there.
No, that's not in there. No, bamboozled. Bamboozled.
Oh no, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I left it out just because, you know, we were trying to stay focused. But she voted against the censure, saying she accepted his apology and wanted unity. And then in May 2024, she felt bamboozled after the mayor's office gave the housing committee chair, which she was promised, to Ramirez Rosa instead.
Right there. I just right. Yes.
A walking Negro spiritual.
A walking Negro spiritual. That picked cotton.
That's
She
funny.
picked cotton. She telling everybody she picked cotton. Jeez.
Just a shame. Anyway, November 2023, during a debate over putting Chicago's sanctuary city status to a referendum, Alderman Carlos Ramirez Rosa physically blocked Alderwoman Mitts from entering chambers and allegedly intimidated colleagues. Approved additional $70 million from migrant care in 2024 or for migrant care amid intense lobbying from Cook County Board President Tony Preckwinkle. Unanimously rejected Johnson's $300 million property tax hike, citing misaligned spending priorities and lack of transparency. They finally caught on a little bit.
Well, yeah, they had no choice.
Very little.
Right.
They like the white people were starting to come down. Tyler Cruz, shout out to Tyler. Tyler was like, Tyler came down there with the numbers, like, what the fuck? I was like, I remember when the first time Tyler Cruz came down there, right? And we had on our Chicago Flip red shirts. And this is after what's the name won? Trump won. So he was like, unlike, because we was down there rooting that he won or whatever. So he was like, unlike these guys, I didn't vote for Trump. But he was like, but this budget doesn't make any sense, right? So we just looking at him like,
yeah, you're just dumb. You're just
right.
dumb.
And then about 2 weeks later, this thing was like, okay, all right, I don't get, what the fuck do I got to do to get in this? Like, do I got to go Republican? Do I have to be a conservative? This shit doesn't make sense. Yeah.
He said, let me level with you, bud.
I voted for Trump, Tyler. That's why we voted for Trump. So Trump, yeah. Shout out to Tyler.
So New Americans Sanctuary City scam. Governor J.B. Pritzker directed $250 million in state support for Chicago's migrant response through 2024. Criticized the city's lack of planning, especially the hiring of Garda World to build shelters. He recommended repurposing existing buildings. Under pressure from downstate lawmakers to curb migrant aid amid Illinois' $3.2 billion deficit, because he's so responsible.
And not to mention, he didn't jump on that Garda World. I mean, being against that tent city. That was Brighton Park, right? He waited till after they had told
the EPA. After the EPA got into it.
Yeah, exactly. Like he didn't know that they were already telling them that land was toxic. Okay.
But also that shows you how powerful YouTube is, because YouTubers and stuff was latching on to Brighton Park and what they were doing and stuff like that. So they were getting a lot of backlash and a lot of independent backlash.
Yeah, social media, independent YouTubers.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So this is. Oh, go ahead. You want me?
No, you got this.
She said,
shout out to y'all both. This is beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much. Because this is what people need to see this and need to understand this and need to see it with their own eyes.
Yeah. New Americans, you're welcome. No problem. Anything.
Yeah, Nicole did more than I did, but you're very welcome. So.
No, I appreciate you, Nicole.
Yeah, I had no Saturday night, but it's okay. It's okay. I don't need
I'm working on it. We good.
No, it's okay. Ain't nothing for me out there in them streets.
No. Unless you want to taco.
If I wasn't working 20 hours a day, I wouldn't know what I was doing.
We getting it together.
New Americans, the Sanctuary City scam continued. So about the vendors and the non-governmental organizations. So you have Favorite Healthcare Staffing, who got $342 million plus, and they were staffing and management for 27 migrant shelters, mostly healthcare, and they definitely were staffing that shelter where that boy died from possible sepsis. I think it was like the 4-year-old that died, and everybody was trying to.
Yeah.
And they were getting exorbitant salaries.
And it was in Brian Sitcha Lopez ward.
Right. Extremely high hourly rates, like Ramona was saying, $156 to $180 an hour, poor shelter conditions, mishandling of sensitive migrant data. Then you had.
I want to say one thing about Favorite Healthcare. What was kind of crazy to me, especially now with anybody that supports Brandon Johnson or any of the progressive aldermen, the chairman of budget of immigration and refugee rights, Andre Vasquez, deputy mayor Beatrice Ponce de Leon. The fact that these people were coming from Florida, Texas, Oklahoma, to come and be staff in our own city without making sure that city workers in Chicago and the state of Illinois were getting this money.
Yeah, the people who owned it are buddies of Pritzker and Johnson and the CTU, and they have all their like buddy networks with the owners.
And they knew that these people were problematic even under, I think, Lightfoot. And that's why they were like, why are you renewing this contract? Like, you already knew this was a problem. Well, you know why.
Yeah, and we FOIA'd it. They never did the three bid. They're supposed to take 3 bids for every city contract.
Well, they may do like they did with Lightfoot. Lightfoot gave and it's a race now, but Lightfoot gave like Ken Griffin like a crazy $40 million contract. And what she tried to say was that nobody else bidded for that. And when I say that, to say that I'm watching people bid for the last 2 years, I'm watching all different type of people now, black, brown, white, whatever, whatever. If you're not down with the cliques and politics, if you're not in with the in crowd, you're not. It doesn't matter if you put in all the bids and you do everything correct.
Yeah.
They're giving
and they didn't even put RFPs, requests for proposals, out on the website for this stuff. He just filled them. They did none of the legitimate process.
Yep. Somebody said we curse Ponce de Leon. I know that's right. Cause she a definite POS.
Yeah. She when I say she is like, she know it too.
Oh, I remember that video because she was sitting there looking crazy, and then she tried to get up there, and talk crazy. And them people, they let her have it as they should have, because she was in there like, who do you think you are coming in our neighborhood trying to shove this down our throats?
Right. Because y'all all in together. Like it literally, they really like thought we were like Black America was stupid. Like we were done. Like it wasn't enough of us. They were so confident that it wasn't enough of us that was going to come together. But they also did not have any faith of that we had in the allies, because Black America got allies. We're in the time where interracial dating and marriage is not going anywhere.
It's common, and of course there's allies across the board. Yeah, with Americans in general, there is a lot of alliance that
there's a lot of alliance. So they did, and right now we're dealing with the common sense conservative alliance of Chicago. And at the end of the day, the real ones are coming together. Like what Alderman Gardner did a couple of weeks ago, which I got to do with like a YouTube on that, because what he talked about. What as an elected official is what everybody's going through. That's not an elected official.
Yeah, we're aiming to have a table set up and like a pop-up in Jeff Park on June 12th if it works out. We're inviting Gardner to come join us, with you guys with the merchant stuff. We'll see if it works out, but we're working on that. So.
Yeah, and I think he will. I 100% support Gardner, and the reason why he's always been nice to me, but it took him a lot of courage. I've been knew about that story, but it took him a lot of courage, and as a white man at this time, in this city, to call out the bullshit.
Yeah, he might as well be a Republican. I mean, he's already broken down most of the stuff he had to do.
But and then too, like people are uniting across the plane because you got to think about it. It's like the Avengers. It's like the Avengers. Like the enemy of my enemy is my friend. You know what I'm saying? Like we got to beat Thanos. Like we don't have time to play games no more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yep. Where we leave off here? Equitable social solutions, 45 million plus. Shelter site management and operations, and they were criticized for inefficient service delivery, questions around use of funds. Garter World, again, with that tent in Brighton Park, $29 million state contract, $985,000 city expense for the site preparation. Emergency tent city construction, and the criticism obviously was that they spent $1 million preparing a toxic site project canceled due to environmental risk. Garter World absorbed direct costs, still scrutinized for a contract selection process.
And just to let you know that they just got sued and won $1.8 million. The city had to pay out because of this bullshit.
City of Chicago overall coordination, $268 million in city funds, $370 million state and federal aid, coordinating housing, logistics, and vendor contracting, limited transparency, FOIA requests delayed, selective disclosure of shelter spending data. And then we got to think about our mayor wants to, become a city-run developer. So I'm sure that's going to be just immaculate.
God bless us.
I love this picture and my favorite one.
Nicole, you read this and I'll read the next long one because the next one's real long. I know, that's my favorite picture.
It's just him in a nutshell.
That's my favorite picture. We use that in the newsletter with the crown on him. I love that picture.
His legacy is violent.
This picture right here describes him. This is exactly his personality. This is exactly who you see. A clown. This right here is why I will never meet with him, because right here, this everything. Look, does he get his eyebrows arched?
This must have been right at the beginning of his $30K. He paid for that. The $30K makeup.
Yeah, this is when he was having panic attacks all the time.
He was having one right then when they took that picture.
Yeah. Yes, this is a clown.
Oh gosh.
This is the.
I'll read this one. So CTU puppet mayor John,
the mayor of Chicago, y'all.
Yep, Johnson's mayoral campaign was canceled by the Chicago Teachers Union to the tune of nearly $5 million, raising serious conflict of interest concerns. Still on CPS payroll, despite being mayor, Johnson retains his unpaid leave status from the CPS, keeping pension and seniority perks while negotiating with his old union. Rigged board takeover. After the entire Chicago Board of Education resigned, Johnson stacked it with pro-CTU allies, consolidating control over CPS in broad daylight. Union using dues without consent. CTU leadership is facing legal action from its own members for allegedly violating bylaws, funneling mandatory dues into politics without proper approval. Ethics complaints over student voter drive. CTU was accused of exploiting students for political gain, marching them to vote in favor of Johnson-backed initiatives during class hours. No ethics oversight. Despite glaring red flags, the city's ethics officer has refused to act, leaving watchdogs powerless against union political collusion. CTU agenda first, kids last. From lavish contract demands to partisan indoctrination, Johnson's loyalty to CTU is crippling education reform and draining city resources. Yeah, this is my pet peeve. CTU is very, very powerful. They're like a third political party, and they push their candidates in, and he is the puppet of the CTU.
You see, I had to find a picture of a messy
Jesse. Yeah, I'm about to say, I see, and it's going to forever be fuck Jesse Jackson and her behind her. She's a gang member, and he's a gang member, and all three gang members in CTU.
Jesse Jackson's a sellout.
We were talking about this yesterday. I was talking to this pastor today that he talked to me for about an hour about how terrible this man was. But he was more disappointed in Jesse Jackson Jr. and his wife that he said he read the transcripts he went and got the transcript. So imagine how many Chicagoans, OGs, got them transcripts while they were on trial, right? He said when he read the transcripts, it basically like he sold out because he was for greed. He said that hurt him more than anything. Like, you had it made. How do you sell out your whole community? And I was like, well, look who his daddy is. You right. And then he sat down. He sat down and started talking. Like, because Jesse Jackson Jr., yes, definitely terrible.
I believe he sold out MLK and got him killed. I believe it 100% from all the evidence points that way. Word on
the street is Daley gave him $2 million. Daley Sr. gave him $2 million to make sure Daley Jr. get mayor. And it makes sense when you come to how he still got everything here. Ain't nobody fucking with Rainbow Push.
Yep.
Rainbow Push is a fraud, man. All right. Man, look at Ronnie Reese and look at this. Look at two weirdos. Now these niggas right here look weird as hell. Look at this. Ronnie Reese look like he belongs and he needs to be examined.
I mean, the sexual harassment. Usually those guys. It's only two ways it comes to the forefront. The chicks didn't want you at all.
Right.
Like
you know damn well. Nobody was checking for Ronnie.
Right.
Ronnie. Look at Ronnie. Why would Ronnie wear that shirt with that suit?
It looks like he threw a suit coat over his pajamas.
Yeah, like it's some things that you know that ain't no Ronnie.
I bet they called him Scrawny Ronnie when he was little.
Yup, Scrawny Ronnie. Look at this slow ass nigga next to him. Look at him.
Yeah.
Look at these two of them together. That was in the like. Come, all right, let's get into it.
I'm glad I put the pictures up here. You're having a lot of fun.
Oh, man, pictures say a lot of things.
No, they do.
Yeah.
Ronnie Reese scandal in the mayor's office. Ronnie Reese, senior advisor to the mayor, accused of sexual harassment while at SEIU. Okay, just a sexy union there, right? Despite public knowledge of these accusations, Johnson appointed him anyway, raising questions of cronyism and disregard for workplace safety. And this is when they tried to have the peace circles with what's that other idiot? Pachion Zayas.
Oh, yes. She how you say her name?
Pachion Zayas.
Pachion Zayas, right?
Pachion Zayas.
Pachion Zayas. Pachion Zayas she get around.
Oh yeah.
That's why she on the peace circle. Hey.
Yeah. She used to be over here in our district before she was working for Johnson. She's an interesting piece of work.
A piece. See, look, another piece.
Yep, a piece.
Definitely a piece. Doctor. I bet she is Dr. Pacion Zayas.
Oh God. Ties to CTU suggest a pattern of revolving door hires between unions and Johnson's City Hall.
Oh,
I'll take this.
Now this nigga right here,
Jason Leigh.
Woo.
I couldn't leave this out.
Jason, no good.
Yeah, it's great. Voter fraud and inner circle. Jason Leigh, a top Johnson political advisor, voted in Texas while residing in Chicago. Under investigation for felony voter fraud, still maintained as a trusted figure in Johnson's inner circle.
He trusts the wrong people.
Did y'all want to talk about who his mama is real quick?
Well, you probably going to give us the tea on that. Well, I know I'm limited, but I do remember. Yeah.
Who's Jason Lee's mother?
I forgot her name, but she definitely the congresswoman, right?
Yeah.
Damn. I know it is, but yeah, she basically got him. It's nepotism.
Jason Leigh. Yeah.
It was nepotism, yeah.
And her daughter, they got Her daughter took over her place, but her mother was a Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Leigh.
That's who it was.
She
Right,
served
right.
she served as a representative for Texas 18th Congressional District for nearly 3 decades. She also is one of the first people to put in the HR 40 bill in the 80s. She was the first. She was the first reparation grifter. Let's put it in and let it stall. And it's been stalling since she's dead. She's dead, and it's still stalling.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
and let me tell you too. Before she died at the age of 74 of pancreas cancer that she was trying to. The Democratic Party is the only party I know that will hide sicknesses. And motherfuckers brain dead, and they'll still have their position. Like,
because they don't want to run nobody for re-election for an election. They rather appoint people.
Because they were trying to have her. She was trying to run as mayor. She was going to try to run as mayor, and people and start going in about her and her diagnosis and all that. And all of a sudden, she stayed to where she was. But they like what they were going to do with Joe Biden. Like, they literally are they literally are a crime family. The Democratic Party.
Yeah, they wanted him in so he could die, and she would just be president.
Because they knew nobody elect her, as we saw.
Right.
Yeah, you got to hear the fundraisers in 2024.
So, he's under investigation, but he's going to remain under investigation.
And then look, here it says August 24th, Sheila Jackson Leigh held fundraising events in Chicago for her Houston mayoral campaign and raised $80,000 with contributions from individuals and entities seeking business within the city of Chicago. Contributors with city ties, donors included executives from companies with city contracts and lobbyists representing major sports teams seeking new stadium deals in Chicago. The involvement of these contributors led to scrutiny over potential conflicts of interest, given Jason Leigh's influential position in the mayor's office. I probably should have threw that on here too. Jason Leigh's response, he has stated that he attended the fundraisers at his mother's request. My mama made me do it, but did not solicit donations or organize the events. He emphasized that his mother's fundraising activities were independent of his role in Chicago city government. But you still voting in Texas, though.
Yeah, and he was still at those fundraisers.
Right.
He definitely was. And his dealer was too.
He said his dealer.
Yeah, Jason Copley.
I believe it.
Next. Oh, look at my man. This is when he started getting a little bit of money.
I'll read this one. Radicalized hiring under federal investigation. DOJ,
that's racialized.
Oh, duh. Sorry.
Same difference.
Sorry.
I just had to get you because we got Zoe.
No, you're right. You're right. My eyes are moving faster than they should be. DOJ launched civil rights probe into Johnson's race-based hiring practices after he publicly emphasized appointing only Black leaders. Critics allege this is ideological discrimination, potentially violating Title VII of the Civil Rights Act. Several white, Asian, and Latino department heads quietly pushed out or replaced. Well, that's what the Justice Department sent him that letter for. I wonder, has anything moved on that at all besides a letter?
Well, they said they were investigating him, so God knows they probably have a lot to look at.
Yeah, they probably do.
And I mean, he's had so many staff changes, and
Yeah.
Oh,
they don't even have
there's the gift room.
The gift room, yeah. I had to get a picture of that. That's where he getting them nice cufflinks from, probably. His suits
probably.
Up.
I'll read this one to Cole.
How many people you think he banged in the gift room?
I don't know. I don't see a cot. Maybe there's a blow-up bed in there.
Well, they hurried up and took a lot of stuff out to give it. They gave us this picture.
Right.
I'll read this one, Nicole.
They left the Mexican flag in there
at 5 to 9, and you'll have
because the cartel was letting you know, Holmes.
Look, they got the Mexican flag, the Mexican portrait with the that's got to be a Mexican painter with them.
Right. They know the Mexicans is in this motherfucker. We got steak in Chicago, bitch.
I heard you, Ramona.
Blocked oversight. The gift room scandal. Mayor's team physically blocked inspectors from entering the City Hall's gift room, filled with luxury goods, Mont Blanc pens, Hugo Boss items. Practice violates transparency norms. Gifts unreported to the Board of Ethics. Inspector General was denied access despite multiple requests.
Oh, Mary Richardson, no good, Lowry. She been stressed. I mean, if you look at, you should have got the picture of how she looked, her picture when she first got appointed as this, and this picture, like, totally two different people. Totally, she stressed the fuck out here. She know that this is 65% chance she's going to prison. She's gonna be the first to tell her she's part of the DEI. I got the first black corporate counsel, the first black woman corporate counsel. Yes, she also is gonna be the first black woman to get arrested and go to jail and lose her bar license for committing this RICO.
There you go.
Yeah, that one right there.
She looks better than all these. Here's one.
Yeah. This picture was here with this big ass flower.
Oh,
she ain't wear the flower no more. She was wearing them. She's coming there with them big ass flowers. That's where a wire was. The wire was right because she had a mic in that motherfucker.
Oh god.
But yeah, show the picture. Yeah, you gotta show that picture, man. But yeah, she was giving old Tinder vibes. Like, okay, Mary. Now look at Mary. Mary looking like bitch.
She's stressed.
She's stressed the fuck. She aged like a motherfucker.
No, you're right.
Next. Okay, it's me. Obstruction justice, interference with OIG probes. Johnson and Lightfoot before him accused of obstructing the inspector general. City law department demanded to sit in on interviews despite whistleblower retaliation concerns. Accusations including bribery, withholding city services, and retaliation against protected disclosures, classic indicators of RICO-style governance. Yes.
Oh, so now we in the shot spotter here. So this is a clip from the WGN town hall, which was heavily scripted. Like you could tell they fielded questions and were trying to make him look, they went real soft on him. But just the clip here from a email.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Charles. Good question, Charles. What my man saying? Y'all hear him?
You can't hear?
Okay, yeah, he talking?
Yeah, you can't hear him?
Is it? No. Can y'all hear him?
Yeah, I can hear it. You can't hear it?
No.
Oh, that sucks. I got the closed captions on.
You hear Ramona?
Is Ramona still there? Well, that sucks. I don't know if you got to play it. You want me to send you a link?
No. Well, basically what he's saying. I'm looking at the closed captions. That's why closed captions is important.
Hey guys, I'm going to have to jump off for a little bit, but I will continue watching while I'm doing this other meeting I have to do.
Bye, Ramona.
Bye, Ramona.
Bye guys. Great job.
So he did all this. He think, the crazy thing is, whoever his PR person is trying to make him this sex symbol. And he's a clown. So regardless of him not wearing a suit, I mean, having a little button down here, you know, you feel like you getting a person, you get a barber that's blending it a little bit better. There's nothing that you look more attractive than when you first came in, but you still a clown. So it really doesn't. You're not like it would be different if you came in on some black shit. You took care of black shit first, and you did what you had to do as far as take care of Miss Jessica and Zoe and Michael Young Bay and all the people that was going down there in the first video. Yeah, like and then like you literally didn't give a fuck. Now you're a little bit different. Yeah, I can't hear.
Can you hear that?
No,
You can't hear that either?
what happened? Yeah.
Zoe, can you hear me?
I can't see.
You can hear me though.
What's
Okay.
happening?
You couldn't hear the video?
No.
Not even when I open up YouTube?
No. I don't know why it won't. I should be able to hear it.
I know, right? We'll figure that out. But yeah, that sucks because the prisoner. Go ahead, I'm listening. I'm sorry.
No, I'm doing what's next after him. But that was.
Oh, okay. Now I was gonna say that sucks because the Pritzker tapes, we're gonna have to definitely figure that out for us so we can at least hear him bullshit.
Well, I mean, we can always. What time is it? We had 2 hours, 35.
No,
minutes.
I know. We're not gonna get to the Pritzker tape. I'm just saying on the next one we have to figure it out before then. Yeah, or we can see.
Let's just do this part and then end after this is a shot.
Yeah, we're
Brandon
almost done.
bodies, right?
We're almost done with the Brandon slide, so we can finish out Brandon and then.
Okay, Brandon slide.
Mm-hmm. So we'll
do this part 2 next Sunday.
Yep. So what's the difference between Larry Hoover's RICO and Illinois elected officials RICO? Larry Hoover organized a murder, but what about the violence and deaths on the hands of public officials? So Brandon Johnson, as we saw in that video, he was basically, just to summarize, Charles from Inglewood was asking, you left us without, I'm a senior, and you left us without shot spotter. What am I supposed to do? And his answer was, it wasn't really doing anything, but remember, it was good enough for him to implement for the Democratic National Convention, for visitors. And it alerts the police, even, Snelling and the other police will let you know, like it was good enough to let you know something's going on and get the police there a lot quicker than waiting and somebody bleeding and dying in an alley. So his answer on that town hall was essentially, well, I'm not going to talk about ShotSpotter as far as being a useful tool because I figure it saved us money. And meanwhile, I'm finding other things to help combat crime, taking credit for the fact that we got rid of whack ass Kim Fox and that, Snelling is
for sure.
Right. So between Eileen Burke and Larry Snelling, that's where you need to give the credit, not to yourself.
Yeah, because even Superintendent Snelling, he did not recommend them get rid of ShotSpotter, and he still did.
Right.
Now, right there is why I don't respect him either, because even if I don't agree with something, or I feel like, but I got law enforcement that's telling me, nah, we need this until we figure something else out. My thing is, I'm like, all right, we'll do it, but look, I'm gonna give you 90 days. If not, I'm gonna figure another tool out. But I'll give you 9 days until we find something else out, just off the common courtesy of him being a law enforcement and knowing that we need that right now. We've got so much stuff going on. We got this illegal migrant situation going on. We got our teens acting a fool. We've got a lot of undiagnosed middle-aged people going crazy. Like, we just got a lot of stuff going on. We need as many tools as possible until we get the one housing, was it the one shelter housing initiative?
Right. Well, that's why his answer was, I saved us whatever, however many $1 million, because at the end of the day, he's just trying to pass that money along to his damn friends, and whoever he's affiliated with in those NGOs and those, churches, and make the peace. That's all it was. It was just saving some money so he could put it somewhere else. He didn't give a shit
at all.
Yeah.
So that's why I will never meet with this piece of shit.
And that's part of the main part of his issue, is he thinks he can ignore all of these people in the room that are qualified, that have been in these positions long enough to know a little bit of something. Like, city council, that's one of the main complaints I know from like Ray Lopez and some of them, is like, you never sit down with us when we trying to explain things to you because you think you know better, or you just don't want to hear it because you got people you got to pay off.
When I first started going down there for my mom and stuff, but then when I started like looking and seeing why the kids are lost, or they acting a fool and stuff like that, I offered, and I said it on the mic, like, hey, I got an idea. If anybody wants to sit with me to talk about what we can do with these kids, I got the plan. Now, they could have had me work on that. You see what I'm saying? Like, have me work on that to show y'all, at the end of the day, it's still unity. Y'all owe my mom, but overall, I see the issue with the children. And I got an idea that I think that will work. They ignore me. Anything I suggested, they ignore me. They ignore me asking to settle the case. Then when I tried to get in the conversation with them and try to be like, well, hey, I think I suggest this, they ignored that too. Now, 2 years later, you got people saying, we all need to sit down with the mayor. No, not me. I had a whole bunch. I tried to, even when I knew y'all motherfuckers owe my mom, I still was trying to be like, well, the overall issue is these things right here, and I would like to be at the table to help discuss that. Like what's going on now with him hiring all these different consultants when it comes to certain things. You should have been hired us.
Right.
You should have hired Chicago Fist Red.
We gotta do a reaction to Conway, even though Conway is an idiot too, because he got all that background and still played. What Conway said? That I sent you that link. Him and so Will Hall was trying to talk about the budget in Springfield.
Can you put that up real quick?
Oh yeah, we can pull it up. I think I sent it in a group chat. Hold on.
Yeah.
But it says they saved $53 million since 2018 from ShotSpotter. I was trying to get the yearly rate, but as you can see, you know what I'm saying? Like you was trying to save money so you could spend it on what you wanted to spend.
Right. This nigga got like 40 unqualified bitches he trying to take care of.
Oh, but you said you can't hear. You can't hear it.
Let me see if I can pull it up.
Okay, I sent it in the group chat.
Yeah, let me see. Let me see if I can. Yeah, let me do it myself.
Yeah, Will Hall looked a goddamn fool.
What was it?
City budget woes. Yeah, it's called City Budget Woes on WGN. It was 10 hours ago. I sent it in the group chat.
Yeah, I'm on this computer though.
Oh, I
see it. Hold on.
Yeah, they saved $50 million on dismissing ShotSpotter and gave it to the illegals, right? That was a SCO 6. Yeah, that should be it. Him and you see it?
See it?
Yeah, that first one. Yep, him and Will Hall. Conway and Will Hall. And Will Hall looked crazy sitting there trying to keep deflecting.
Let's remove the other media.
You said what? I could see it, but I don't know. Now you back on my screen, but I saw what you were looking at.
Yeah. I just looking for them to I'm learning this, y'all. So
It's okay.
please bear with me.
Take your time. You had it up though. Like I could see you.
I hear it.
Okay.
So let me,
oh, you must have it like on another screen, maybe. Are you, or like another window that you don't have up?
Well, yeah, but I'm trying to do the.
I'm gonna take mine off. I took mine off the stage, but yours was just up there.
Okay. You didn't see what I was trying to do.
Yeah.
They say 50 million.
Oh no, that's me again.
Yeah, this is me, right?
No, that's my screen again.
Okay. So remove this and share screen. All right, you see it?
Okay, I can hear it. Yeah.
Hear it.
I can see it and hear it.
While state lawmakers wait to see how federal cuts will impact their work, leaders at City Hall are also bracing for the potential loss of billions of dollars from D.C. Making matters worse, last week, Fitch Ratings downgraded Chicago's financial outlook to negative. They say it's because the city hasn't made meaningful progress to close what looks to be $1 billion budget gap. Mayor Brandon Johnson vowed to start the budget process early this year. So on Tuesday, council members will meet to talk about potential sources of new revenue. But even the mayor concedes they're likely going to need more time and more help from the State House.
The levers in which I have direct control over in terms of being able to generate revenue, there's limitations there, and that the state of Illinois, there are far more areas of revenue streams that we will need the state to approve them. So there's going to be a continued concerted effort on my part to ensure that the key investments that we are making continue to push forth our effort to build the safest, most affordable big city in America.
The Hall to Springfield will likely have to wait until the fall veto session, setting up a tight window for city council to finalize their plans. And as alders begin their work, Cranes reports the city is paying more than $3 million to consulting firm Ernst & Young to find so-called efficiencies in the budget. Joining me this morning to talk more about what's next are 6th Ward Alderman Will Hall and 34th Ward Alderman Bill Conway. It's a busy week. Gentlemen, thanks for being with me. Alderman Hall, you are the chair of the Subcommittee on Revenue. You meet on Tuesday. Alderman Conway, you are a member of the committee. In your agenda, you made it clear the list of things on the table include reinstituting a grocery tax that the state sunsetted, bringing it to the city, a sales tax on services, that's always unpopular in Springfield. And
don't he look constipated?
Approval first. How much will those things help close the gap?
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you so much, Paul, and thank you, even my colleague Bill, taking out time. One of the things, number one, is that we're looking at an $80 million gap. What we see, as you just articulated, is the fact that the state has once again punted a ball, delayed in game. And so now it's crunch time. And so what we're going to, in this subject matter hearing, no critical votes will be taken, but we will put the information out. This decision to withhold from the state is now forcing us as a city to look at how to make up $80 million. That grocery tax is what we were generating from in a portion amongst other municipalities. And so now with the state taking it away, it's a good headline, but it's leading a tough headwind for us as a city.
Alderman Hall, let me just stay with you for this, because you called this meeting, this committee meeting. Why did you do it after the session is ending in Springfield? Is it realistic to think that you're going to get more help from the state in time to assist with the budget?
Well, it's the same way the state decided to wait to the ninth hour to send it over to the Senate. It's clear that the state house is a little confused and the calculator is not mathing the correct way that lends to a favorable city investment. Let's be clear, without the city of Chicago, the state cannot function. So we've contributed to so many different streams. What this subject matter hearing does is it gives us an opportunity to evaluate what's the fair portion, number one. But again, the state did not have in a timely manner a budget for both sides to look at. So they're still in the ninth hour. Matter of fact, we see messages as signals from state senators and reps that they have not yet had enough time to comb through. So what we will see is a rushed attempt, but we will hopefully have a strong veto session that will include some efficiencies for Chicago.
Alderman Conway, before I move on with another question, let me get your reaction to what I asked Alderman Hall about the various things the committee will be talking about.
Well, I have a lot of respect for Alderman Hall, but I feel like in this, the mayor's office has really showed a lack of understanding of city finances and sort of a lack of ability to read a calendar here, because the mayor's office really should be down in January making these asks. This is what we're looking for. Instead, what we're dealing with is we're having a committee meeting after we've already been adjourned. And this goes, the mayor really should have been building these relationships a lot sooner. We can't be building this, getting involved in the budget in the fourth quarter here. As we saw 2 years ago, the mayor went down in May with the teachers to ask for things. This year, he went for 1 day in April. And that's why very few people in Springfield think the city of Chicago is being run very well. We need to be building those relationships and working with them much sooner.
Well, let me follow that up just a little bit, because it's no secret that the governor flat out said that the mayor's relationship with Springfield isn't good. Is there a way around that to make things be more effective between the city and the state?
Well, I mean, it's relationship building like everything else. But we need to show Springfield that we are building those relationships and asking for what we need, as opposed to sitting here after Springfield's adjourned, realizing we need $80 million.
Alderman Hall, as you know, the mayor already has convened a separate budget working group. It's got alders on there, business people, civic leaders. We might get a look at what they're accomplishing or working on towards the end of the month. What do you see them accomplishing? How is their work different from what you're doing?
Well, I love my colleague, Bill Conway, as my brother, but I sent out a link to every alder at the beginning of this year, something new that we've never done before, the same way this subcommittee for revenue is new, in which they could click a button, upload whatever documents they have, in which the budget office, the finance office, look at it, critique it along with our general counsel, so that we can see the lead of revenue ideas. It went up at the beginning of the year. We were briefed. It's sad to say we didn't get much response from the other 49 of my colleagues. But secondly, we have an opportunity, in my opinion, to Trump-proof the state of Illinois and Chicago. Number one, let's look at the construction opportunities. 4,500 construction jobs with a new stadium that does not include an invasion on taxes. Number two, we have debt collection opportunities through water and through parking, in which for years we were leading, but then we made some adjustments that were not sufficient. And as a result, we're lacking debt collection opportunities, none invasive, but however, we're losing millions of dollars. And then thirdly, we look at a failed casino. Again, we can move from where we see a failed site thus far that has already been stopped, move it to McCormick Place, hypothetically, and then rebuild on the river and give affordable housing to those who were once living there back in the housing project complex that our vice mayor is overseeing. So there are three opportunities right there.
Is you cool?
State collaboration in which we don't see. And again, a lot of relationships are already there. Our speaker, who's a great speaker, worked with our mayor in organizing and getting him elected. Matter of fact, I believe our mayor worked for the Senate President Don Harmon. And so again, the politics of Springfield, we had an opportunity with him, and we still might have that done with regulation, as well as different partners at the county that want to assist in making sure that our children are safe, but solid revenue. So the opportunities are there. The roadblocks have been unfortunate, though.
Alderman Conway, it's interesting sort of reaching out for input from a lot of places. I mentioned as I led into you that Ernst & Young involved in trying to find efficiencies. So far, $3 million has been paid to them. But the mayor is clear. He doesn't want furloughs. He doesn't want layoffs. How does the city continue to function without cuts?
Well, I do think we need to be looking at places where we can find savings in our budget. I mean, the mayor's last budget, which I oppose, had significant fee increases, the checkout bag tax on streaming services, software taxes, parking garages, valet services, residential zoning fees. So we need to show that it's not right for us to ask the taxpayers to pony up more if we're not willing to look for savings first. But I will say this, apparently if the mayor wants to outsource the Office of Budget Management to some blue ribbon committee that's going to hire some Wall Street consultants, we could probably begin to find some savings there. And when you look at other places for savings, in this city, we have a Department of Housing, Department of Buildings, Department of Planning and Development, Zoning Board of Appeals, Planning Commission, Permit Review Board, and all these things stand in the way of us creating affordable housing and affordable jobs. And that's a place we can really look to cut some red tape.
Alderman Conway, let me stay with you for this. Do you think the answer is in a one-time revenue source fix to deal with the shortfalls, or are we looking for something more ongoing like a property tax hike?
Well, we do really need to show, before we ask the taxpayers for any more money, we need to show them that we are looking for savings. And that's why really the consultant doesn't make sense. We have staff that looks at this within city government, within the Office of Budget Management. And so instead we are spending $3.5 to $4 million. We are spending taxpayer dollars to seemingly find savings. Or are we spending the money so that the mayor has somebody else to blame the tough choices on? It's not clear, but clearly we should be looking in our own house for these things.
To negative by Fitch. Alderman Conway, you've written about this publicly, basically saying you were promised this wouldn't happen. I'm going to come to you in a second, but first, Alderman Hall, your reaction to this downgrade, which apparently, you folks were told won't happen.
Well, first of all, let's look at the pathway in the last 40 years. Number one, we sold assets. Then we had another administration that made bad business deals, then consolidated departments in which our constituents are calling us, for example, like forestry. And then we had another administration that spent money free and did not calculate inflated numbers. And now we have this administration, which is dealing with, again, 4 decades of bad mismanagement, bad deal making, and then bad misuse of federal funds. So those 3 are factors that make it difficult, again, to pay bills. Again, I say to my colleagues, all of them, this holiday season, I dare you to go on tour and tell all of the Chicagoans who you're going to cut their jobs. This Christmas, you won't have jobs. Code word for billionaire politics equals efficiency so that you can get results. I get it. I'm an econ major. But when you start cutting jobs, code word efficiencies, then it leaves people not contributing to the tax roll.
All right.
We need people working.
All right, Alderman Conway, let me give you the last word. Again, given the fact that you had a downgrade, you promised wouldn't happen, where do things go from here?
Well, this is what I'm getting at when I say the mayor's office has just showed a lack of understanding in the city's finances. We were told when we passed the last budget, the mayor's office assured us we wouldn't get downgraded. And then when my colleagues passed that terrible bond offering, the $830 million issuance, it's going to take $2 billion
They stole it
to pay back. We were assured that we would be okay with the credit agencies. This is baked in, we were told. Instead, now we have a negative outlook. And the result of that is going to be that we are going to have to pay higher interest costs. And that is something that is going to cost the taxpayers money. And that's the sad part about it.
All right, Alderman Bill Conway, Alderman and Pastor Will.
He called that nigga pastor.
Thanks for being with me. Have a good Sunday.
First
of all,
and we're going to take one more break.
First of all, we need to next Wednesday, this Wednesday coming up is where everybody needs to be at City Hall to watch this play out. Okay, you hear this?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah. So this is going to play out. So I said I'll be there. I just want to let y'all know what times, because y'all got to see this shit in real life. Everything that now I don't even really I don't fuck with Conway, but the reason why I don't fuck with Conway is because Conway, I believe, is a racist. However, Conway be talking that shit down there when it comes to this budget and economic wise, and giving a lot of suggestions that make sense. Like Between him and Riley, I don't really fuck with Riley too. I believe Riley's a racist too. However, they understand money. They understand the budget. They understand how government works, and they are both financially secure. I mean, so I think that's one of the big things. Like Conway don't need kickbacks. He's a billionaire.
Right. But Pastor Hall,
Pastor Hall now. Now Pastor Hall, he's selling out everything. Everything.
How you don't want to lose jobs, but then you gonna cut my water off?
Yeah, like you sound dumb. And then what are you talking about with the billionaires? The billionaires don't got shit to do with this. This is y'all niggas that's cooning. Y'all niggas that are sellouts. Y'all niggas that are hoes. Y'all niggas that will sell. Y'all the type of niggas that will steal from somebody and then help them find it. Mm-hmm. Try to help them find it.
That's exactly what they doing. That's exactly what they doing.
Like y'all dang, like what the fuck? Like
y'all missing y'all money. Hold on, taxpayers. Wait, let me look for it.
Because it's the billionaire's fault. Because it ain't no billionaire. Y'all are laundering money and making business deals. Let me tell you something. When that boy first came in office, Brandon Johnson, y'all niggas stole that money so fast. Y'all stole about $3 billion so fast, and y'all stole it so fast because y'all knew that y'all were so confident that we weren't paying attention, and I get it because we weren't paying attention. You understand? We weren't paying attention. So, but y'all stole that money too fast, and now y'all are fumbling to try to figure out how to get it back. Because the Feds is not giving you no money. Pritzker they got about $60 million in this Calm Collective group that he's funneling to get you the fuck up out of there. And you ain't got no money. Like black people ain't got no money. So you ain't got nothing. You ain't got nobody. You have nobody that's gonna come save you, Otis. Okay.
For real.
But on June 3rd at 10 a.m., it starts on a Committee on Finance meeting. Everybody needs to come there. And then, if you can't make it there, but you should start there. But at 12 o'clock is the Committee on Finance Subcommittee on Revenue. And the chairman of that is who we just saw. William, whatever Brandon Johnson says, I'm with Hall. Okay, and that's just what it is. He is by far one of the worst aldermen to ever do it as a millennial. The nigga 40. They could be 41 this year. And you an embarrassment to the millennials, man. And you embarrassment to the 80s babies, fam.
And then what is this? He says, he's like, we put out this notice or we put out this agenda, but 49 of us didn't respond. Wait. Who is we then? If it's 49.
Yeah, who responded? Jason Irvin? Probably only Jason Irvin. Because Jason Irvin is also a fucking...
No, but it's got to be himself included. He's got to be the 50th because how you respond to yourself. So then who is we?
I don't know, but I think Jason Irvin too. He probably it was a few that did respond. Okay. I remember that. He just probably just said that, but like maybe two. Michelle Harris is going to always respond. Vice Mayor Walter Burnett's going to always respond. Now, it was a few more. You know what it was? It wasn't Will Conway did not respond. Riley didn't respond. Lopez didn't respond. Bill didn't respond. Monique Scott didn't respond. Wegaspec didn't respond. LaSpada, Gardner, Napolitano. But the House Negroes down there, the Do Nothing Black Caucus, they definitely responded to that dumbass bullshit ass email that he went around. Because I remember when it came around. So yeah, he's specifically talking about Will Conway for not responding, and I wouldn't have either. I don't even fuck with Conway, but why? Nigga, you a goofy. You a goofy. Our mayor's a fucking goofy. You're fucking up the city. You done added another committee meeting, huh?
Y'all can't do math. Y'all can't read calendars.
Yeah, y'all can't. Like, why? No. Like, I'm literally a billionaire. I'm literally a billionaire. I can say that I'm a billionaire, and y'all do not give a fuck about government efficiency. Real talk. So I will respect Conway on that. Conway will have to I'll have to have a sit down conversation with Conway. However, I do agree that Conway and Riley do be talking some shit that make fucking sense. They go by the fucking Riley's an accountant, Conway is a lawyer and comes from a daddy who built his a company and is a billionaire, and also is his father also is a donor. He donates a lot of money to certain places and causes. So while Conway donates what in his causes that he believes in, he also be down there calling out the bullshit.
Yeah, but I'm like, it's nothing more you couldn't have done.
Only thing I don't fuck with Conway too also was when it came, because he's a lawyer, when it came to holding immigrant law clinics and know your rights shit in the West Loop, he was holding them in the West Loop. You didn't want to look at Jessica Jackson's case. You being a lawyer, you trying to be the state prosecutor. You going against Kim Fox, the state prosecutor. Ooh, get that away from me. But you holding law clinics for immigration to get their citizenship.
They all wanted a piece of the pie. That's what I'm saying. Like you can give him credit for this now, but it's like you kind of a little too late, because like, you know, if you're telling them they don't understand the calendar and they don't understand finance, when do you take the wheel as the finance guy? When do you use your white privilege? Like, I'm like,
when are y'all gonna write?
That's what I'm saying.
When are y'all going to write a letter to resign, to tell this nigga that you have no confidence in him and he needs to resign?
Right, he's incompetent, he's unfit, and this place has been overrun with social, progressives, and all this other stuff. Like, that's what I'm saying. So you could give him credit for this, but it's a little too late. Like you said, you was clearly trying to get your little kickback money from the migrants or whatever at some point, or whatever you was gonna do to benefit from that situation. So it's kind of a little too late. The train already left the station. How did you believe you wouldn't get a downgrade and you a finance guy? How did you really believe? We all knew we was gonna get the fucking downgrade. We all knew this nigga was lying.
He lied on Capitol Hill.
Right.
But with his lawyer behind him.
Oh, of course. That's the best way to lie.
Right. I'm just saying, like, this is how either you this incompetent or you really feel like Chicago got your back and that you're gonna get back in there. Black people don't got shit. Like, we literally do not have shit. For you to think that you stole this $835 million and you gonna promise people, I'm gonna get you this, I'm gonna get you this. Like, even with that FEMA, that is like this discovery, disaster money from that's supposed to be going to the West Side, and they trying to get, it's a grant from the federal government, and they're pushing for them to get that grant here, but there's people who haven't got they money, they 2024 FEMA money.
Right.
Yeah. So the dude who was telling me was basically saying that let's talk about that money first before y'all hurry up and release this $424 million. Why are we releasing this? Let's talk about that other money that we never received. And basically the city knows about him talking about it and explaining it to the West Siders, and they telling him that move out the way. We need this money. So basically, fuck that. It's not going to the community. It's not going to the flood things. You're not trying to work with. This is a guy who has a great PowerPoint on how the money needs to be used. It makes sense because of the money and how many homes still haven't got their money from the FEMA, but you mad at him because these nonprofits is trying to get this money to funnel this shit.
Oh yeah, it's been a shell game. It's been a
Yeah.
big old shell game. Yep.
Yeah, we're gonna talk to him on Thursday, Mr. 37. Ward 30, Mr. 37 gonna come up here and explain about that $464 million. That's our late night. First time ever I'm doing a late night one at 11 o'clock in the evening on Thursday. Let's get into it. All right. What's next after this? Is it or what?
So this is the second to last slide, but yeah, so I just wanted to make sure I reiterated here that the CWB Chicago is one of my favorite sources for what's actually going on with the community. They're like one of the first ones to actually let you know that these are illegals committing crimes, and they also started this data with the Brandon's bodies, where they're basically tracking the shootings and fatalities that were previously served by ShotSpotter, wherein, you know, with Brandon shutting it off, they are blaming him directly for these shootings and fatalities. So it's literally a database they're keeping where they're tracking each of these shootings in the areas that were previously serviced by ShotSpotter. So it looks like, I believe they're at 45 shootings so far, some of them fatal, that they're counting to, you know, him shutting off ShotSpotter. So you can go to CWB Chicago for that.
Shout out to CWB Chicago. I've been following them even when I was living in Atlanta. I've been following CWB Chicago. What's my other man? Spot News.
Spot X or something. Sub X, one of them.
Yeah, he has cancer. So prayers up to my man Spot News and a few other. But 16th District, I think, Scanner. But CWB, I've always been following them, even when since like 2014, like 15, 16, I was following CWB.
Yeah, they were one of the only ones who gave like the real tea on that Gage Park shooting, where the 3 people I think were killed, or 2 people were killed and 3 others were shot.
A lot of my stuff that I've known, like that I could research or know, is because of them.
Yeah.
Because these motherfuckers ain't gonna really give it to you until after they do it.
Exactly. Until it's too late, right? So here is this woman, 19 years old, was shot, Sierra Evans, and died. They said she was laying in the alley for hours and basically bled out because of, you know, no one alerting that these gunshots went off. And so had there been ShotSpotter, per, you know, her family and the alderman and, you know, everybody else with some sense except Brandon Johnson, you know, we could have possibly saved her life had police been able to respond more quickly to the gunfire. So supporters have determined that over 1,900 lives were saved by ShotSpotter from January 2023 to July 24, according to data obtained through FOIA requests. Despite Mayor Brandon Johnson's repeated campaign promises to cancel ShotSpotter, he extended the city's contract to keep the gunshot detection system operational for the Democratic National Convention, prioritizing the safety of convention attendees and out-of-town guests over his stated plans to immediately end the technology's use in an effort to cut costs.
And that's because Pritzker paid for the DNC. And Pritzker called down here, and that's probably the only conversation that they had that Brandon Johnson had to agree to keep the ShotSpotter up because JB Pritzker was paying for everything. He paid for the whole convention. So I need to keep this shit. I got money on the line. I got money on the line for this. So yeah, you're going to have to keep ShotSpotter up just in case.
Right. So that concludes for today. We're going to get to AG Kwame Raoul.
Yeah. So that's next. I'm waiting for next Sunday, part 2 of this bitch right here. Part 2 of motherfucking Attorney General Kwame Raoul.
We're going to talk about him and Pritzker, hopefully.
And Pritzker.
Yep. Because there's not much to say about Kwame Raoul, because what has he done?
Yeah, I'm asking for shit, though.
I got you.
I'm asking shit.
I got you.
Yeah, this nigga right here, he needs to be out. Yes, a fucking, where's Waldo? Where's Kwame, nigga? I wish we can get a book. I wish we can get like a little book or something. Well, not a book cover made with like all of like the municipalities in Chicago, everything, the Daily Center, everything, and then where's Attorney General like, but shows like all the indictments of everything that's happened, all the RICOs that's happening, all the lies, all this nigga, all this stuff, all of this. And where's Kwame? Where are you at, Kwame? Woo, this is a piece of shit right here.
He chilling.
But I will tell you this, him and Jesse Fuentes, before we end it, him and Jesse Fuentes have a good relationship.
Oh Lord.
Shout out to her. It was her 6-year wedding anniversary yesterday. Shout out to Jesse Fuentes and her wife. But
You sound like you being sarcastic.
Is the one who said it says well, no, I'm just saying. As my fellow LGBTQ person, right? She has never came to me and asked me, hey, how my compadre, my LGBTQ compadre, my black and brown sister from Puerto Rico, from one Puerto Rican to one black American, black and brown. What can I do? Show me what you got. But no, she ignored me and said, whether you like it or not, these buses are going to keep on coming. Just like you keep having tins and tins of fucking, what is it called? Tent city. You growing a big tent city over there, Jesse Fuentes. Your tent city's growing real. It's giving San Francisco.
Oh my God. Right?
It's giving San Francisco.
Right? And I don't know if we were in her ward when I almost got head on collided with the bad drivers out there, but if you can't go to Jesse Fuentes, where could you go?
Where can you go? Happy anniversary. Happy Pride. Happy Pride. Happy anniversary. Jimmy Neutron. So yeah. So as I'm saying, that DEI, this LGBTQ shit don't mean shit. It's really about clicks and politics, and they ain't really about taking care of lives. Like, I'm gonna do a famous Friday on all the LGBTQ aldermen down there. It's a lot.
Say whether they know it or not.
And there's a lot. Andre Vasquez is an honorable mention. It's a lot of them, and they don't do shit, honestly. So, all right, that's that piece, y'all. You know what? I might have to do that. Yeah, I gotta do that. Famous Friday, the LGBTQ. Actually, all of that's in government right now. Precious over there. Yeah, hell yeah. Get my shit together for these motherfuckers. Because y'all motherfuckers really have not stood by me either. Where the fuck my press conference at in the honor of the LGBTQ? You Jews, you pieces of shit, you symbolism hoes, you fucking, yeah, you are, y'all too is the definition of fucking reason why I'm glad DEI is gone. What the fuck can y'all do? Y'all some useless ass gays. Useless ass fucking gays. The fuck? Fuck y'all. All right. That's that piece.
All right.
I love you, Nicole.
I love you too.
Thank y'all.
Love y'all. Thanks for the chats.
Yes, and we will see y'all. We got what we got. Oh, tomorrow I'll be at
Danny's
court case, and starting at 1 p.m. I'll be there at 12:30. So all of the people who threatened to shoot me and beat my ass, I'll be there at 12:30.
727 East 111th, right?
Yep, 727 East 111th Street. So please bring your talents there. Also, I have 3 police reports out on 3 people that keep threatening me. You know who y'all are. And next is I'm not playing with y'all. Danielle already went and got a restraining order. Ain't nobody fucking playing with y'all. So
somebody said it will be live streamed.
Yes, it will be live streamed. Yes, live stream everything. So
But we need y'all to show up with y'all
we
red
need y'all to
shirts.
show up. Yeah, y'all gotta stop being lazy, but y'all gotta show up. Somebody said, will it be live stream? Why don't you come? Y'all motherfuckers want us to come all the way out to Schaumburg, go all the way out to DuPage, go all the way out to all the Elk Grove, all this stuff. Bring y'all ass to 720. What is it? 727 East 11th Street. Yeah, because I'm trying to tell you right now. Now, whether if you come or not, we're gonna be this motherfucker is. We're gonna make sure this nigga gets whatever he can get. We have an attorney, so I'm not really worried about that. Also, we have a following, so I'm not worried about that. However, y'all are the same people that want us to come to all these places that's outside of Illinois, knowing that we are Chicago-based. So if you support Chicago Fist Red, if you support Danielle Carter, if you support me, if you support Nicole, if you support our R8, if you support Ramona, if you support the movement, if you support the change that we're doing in Chicago, then you need to show up to.
Or you just wanted the Avengers and you don't like the Thanoses of the Democratic Party.
Yeah, or if you know at the end of the day, no man is supposed to put no hands on no woman. That's law.
Yeah.
That's fucking law.
Bring your prior engagement. Bring your prior engagement to 727 East 111th Street. Tell them send it up.
Yeah. On Larry Hoover. Shit. And while you're at it, free Jeff Ford. See, people get mad. They be like, Jeff Ford trying to blow up America. He probably was pissed off. He'd have probably had it. Like, if y'all motherfuckers ain't gonna let me do what I need to do, fuck this city. Fuck America. Fuck this country.
No! Because where could you go?
Right. If I can't go anywhere, I can't go anywhere. Nigga, we had all them people he could have went to. Like, honestly, like when you think about it, Jesse Jackson really was some shit. Al Sharpton really was some shit. John Lewis really was some shit. Farrakhan, what's up? Like, honestly, we supposed to hold each other down. And my thing is, it might be some weird shit, some egotistical shit. But we got to be more like every other community that they don't let that shit fuck up their unity when it comes to the power in government, business, and family. Real talk. We got it bad. So, yep, Roy. This is my man right here. I love him. I don't know if I met you, but I like this man.
Come on out tomorrow, Sco 6.
Yeah.
Sco 6 be in there talking that stuff.
I fuck with him.
Yeah.
So, all right. Thank y'all. I fuck with y'all. I will see y'all next week. We'll do part 2 of this. What else we got this week? Oh, meet me at City Hall Wednesday, starting at 10 a.m., 121 North and South. I'm going to get there at 9:30. You want to sign up and speak to your public comment. And please talk. I don't care if it's about it, whatever that the bone that you have to pick with the city. Come out and talk. It don't gotta be. You don't do a whole 3 minutes. If it's something that you see is some bullshit, your voice, y'all voice is very important. So you don't have to have a whole 3 minutes, or just show up. Because again, bodies are important. They know people are paying attention. But what's better if you got a couple of bodies behind you? Mm-hmm. So especially our men. We need our men. I fuck with y'all. I am not a what was that thing in was it men hater? What was
I can't think of the word right now, but the opposite of a chauvinist.
I'm not huh?
You're not a misandrist.
Yes, I'm not a misandrist at all. So yes, no, I know the role that the men play, and I know it's a very critical role, a very important role, and I am not trying to take none of y'all places. Okay, it's just not making sense to me, and and I'm not no pussy ass bitch.
That's right.
So yeah. But yes, so I would like it. It give me great hope, and it would make me so happy that if y'all would start standing with me. So yes. Y'all are still y'all. A lot of my guy friends call me and tell me a lot of things, a lot of stuff that I get. Because I am emotional, I'm still a woman. So I'd be like, no, fuck that shit. And they're like, nah, you gotta understand, you gotta do it like this, da da da. And they break it down. And at the end of the day, I choose logic over emotion. So yes, our men's voices are very important. I need them, and I appreciate my brothers that are surrounding me, that are teaching me when I'm going through this journey. Because again, I'm still a woman. I don't identify as a trans man. I don't a trans man at all. I know what the fuck I am. I like what I like. I like what y'all like.
That's right. We need our men for everything. It's that balance.
It's that balance. So yeah, so we don't got no, it ain't that. Now it is some stupid men out here that say dumbass shit, and I will correct it, just like I will correct the dumbass women. I will correct the dumbass trans. I will correct the dumbass robots. I will correct with everybody. It doesn't make any sense because we got shit we got to do. All right,
Amen.
Nicole. Oh, yeah.
Hey, conservative, Chicago conservative.
Oh yeah, that's an OG right there. That's like, yeah. Now that nigga right now, y'all need to follow him.
Yes.
Now that's a good man that I respect, and has a good opinion and when it comes to a lot of things, and he speaks facts, and he is a young conservative. So yes, appreciate him. Zoe, you could be a strong voice, but you gotta listen to the voice of experience. Who's the voice of experience? Because if the voice of experience was out here, we would not be this far. We would not be this far removed of things. If the thing is that y'all, I don't even know who you are. Why don't you meet me down at 121 North LaSalle? Why don't you do that? Why don't you, Ramal Mafimi, bring your ass to city council and see what the fuck I'm seeing? Committee meetings. Let's look at this budget. Let's look at the finance. Let's see all the money that they passing. Please do that before you tell me anything about I have to listen to the voice of experience when y'all don't come outside. Yeah, y'all don't come outside at all. So when you come outside, then I fuck with you.
Yeah, that's what we was talking about. You got to go back and watch.
Yeah, we know that he has a 2-year sentence left. But yes, J.B. Pritzker can still pardon him. That's what we get. He should have pardoned.
Oh, Lord. What happened? Yeah, we were talking about that, though. So it's going to be on the part 2. We're going to get more into J.B. Pritzker's hypocrisy. I guess we lost Zoe. I don't know if she's coming back, but you got to go back and watch the live. So I don't know. Maybe we'll just end this. All right, y'all. Well, that's that piece. I don't know what happened there, but technological issues. But definitely go back, watch the live, and meet us on tomorrow. Meet us on tomorrow at the courthouse to stand up for Danny and against Paul McKinley. And that's it, y'all. We'll be back next Sunday. And Zoe always got something up her sleeve. So check out her channel and check me out as well on YouTube, Nicole Coco Patrice. But I'll see y'all.
Yeah, I don't know. You see me? My back? Okay. But yeah, my phone that messed up and all that good stuff. But yeah, we were done. And that's it. Thank y'all for tuning in. I gotta get my battery life on this computer is not the strongest, And then when I plug it up, I turn it into a robot. But yeah. So thank y'all for tuning in. I will see y'all this week. And make sure you turn into Chicago Conservative. And Nicole has her own page. We got Chicago Danny C. She spoke on Facebook this evening. So check her out. And I will see y'all for next week. Peace.